Stay protected in your jungle. McLean's Complete Care Toothpaste. Sponsor Survivor.
From the marina here at Kota Kinabalu, the capital of Sabah on the mysterious island of Borneo, you are witnessing 8 men and 8 women preparing for a 5-hour journey. It's a journey that's only the beginning of an adventure that could well change their lives forever. Now several hours into the journey to the remote island of Pulau Tiga. The survivors are trying to rest, conserve their energy, and they'll need all the strength they have. They volunteered to be marooned for 40 days and 40 nights. This is the story of their survival. They've been divided into 2 tribes, and they now just have 2 minutes to salvage what they can from this boat. It's the first time they've been allowed to communicate with each other since they came together some 5 hours ago. For the next 40 days and 40 nights, they will be marooned on this beautiful but potentially dangerous island here in the South China Sea. 16 people forced to band together, and they better adapt quickly, not only to the island, but also to each other. Because, and here's the critical thing, every 3 days, one of them will be voted off the island by their fellow participants.
Watch the oars! Jump! Let's start getting from the top load down!
From the boat, they've salvaged what they can, the bare essentials they'll need for survival, including an axe, a machete, water containers, cooking pan, fishing baskets, nets and line. Anything they've left on board is now lost to them. To eat, each tribe has been given 1 tin of fruit, 1 tin of corned beef, and enough rice for 40 days and 40 nights. As individuals, they're allowed 1 non-practical, personal item. The Ula, or snake tribe, consists of Pete, a model and actor from Cheshire; Zoe, a bar worker from London; Richard, a fellow in clinical psychiatry from Cardiff; Eve, a project manager from Oxfordshire; Jackie, a purchaser in the airline industry from Surrey; Nick, a drugs company manager from the Midlands; Sarah, a model from southwest London; and Mick, a retired policeman from Dartford. The Halang or Eagle tribe consists of Adrian, a barrister's clerk from Kent; Uzma, a children's nursery owner from Yorkshire; Simon, a financial sales manager from Birmingham; Jennifer or JJ, a PA from South Wales. James, a property developer from London. Jane, a massage therapist from Sussex. Andy, a long-haul pilot from Northampton. And Charlotte, a detective constable from Glamorgan. We dropped the survivors about 3 nautical miles from the island. The journey should take an hour, but with the currents and tides as they are at the moment, they'll have to battle hard to reach their beaches marked by flags. And it's worth remembering here they'd never spoken to each other before they were cast overboard. Now they are ashore on their designated beaches, they really have to pull together. The island's climate is hostile and unforgiving. With temperatures and humidity in the high 90s, any physical work soon becomes strenuous and draining.
Well, this is where we're going to camp up.
Yes.
Behind it, I've checked the water. It's salt water. Because at first I thought it was going to be a problem with mozzies.
Oh, right.
But it's a splash over. If you look at high tide, the light is actually clear and aligned with us here. So we do need to be on the ramp.
Which is between the two flags?
It's between two flags. We are going to build between the flags, right? What we need now is find real long bits of bamboo, okay?
Yeah. There. This is a lot more my size.
I suggest we do an A-frame to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay, we can adapt it as the days go by, but it's going to be about 6.5 foot at the bottom. Okay, running through 8 times 2, about 16, about 10, about 12 feet.
I'm very glad someone took over, and I felt quite good when Nick, he just suddenly, got us all together.
I'm at home. As you knew I would be. Mick and I are going to start on the A-frame, okay? Can you start ferrying the building materials up?
I'm just pretending to do things now. I'm worn out.
Yeah, we need to Okay, yeah, we're going to go this way, so we've got a little bit of the offshore breeze. Okay? Now this is going to be our A-frame. Yeah. Nick comes across immediately as an obvious leader. He's got a lot of skills. He can motivate people and praise them when they've done something good, so he's very good at that. That's it, that's good, yeah. Nice and tight.
Coming through there, yeah?
Yeah, that's it, right. Okay, put it tight. Put it up the ceiling, That way, that's it, that's good. Yeah.
We're on the boat, and then just as we're about to go in, Nick just suddenly announces that he's this scuba ace from the Navy, so everybody just, okay, fair enough. He sort of took charge from there and has stayed in charge. Certainly I think as far as he's concerned.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to sit down. I feel a bit faint.
Yeah,
Got some more water?
Yeah, I just feel a bit sick. Faint. Got some water? I just had some. I felt sorry for Jackie because obviously the, first impressions are so vital in this sort of thing. Everybody's trying to be really proactive, and Jackie was feeling quite poorly.
Ular seemed to have found a natural leader in Nick, but has anyone similar emerged in the Halang tribe?
They all seem to be fanning around. I can't stand meetings for meetings' sake.
What are we doing?
We've got about 2 hours, I reckon, till it gets dark.
Yeah.
Haven't got time to do everything, so need to decide what priorities.
Shelter and water.
Let's
get
Shelter's really important.
We've got so little time and we've just got to do things, and that's shelter and water. And nobody's gone for water yet, and they've lost the compass. We haven't had it 5 minutes.
Let's space them apart so we know like that.
Just, I can't go storming around the place saying, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this wrong. I can't do that. Lean-to is not right for 8 people. It's good, but not a lean-to.
That's a wobbly one. Some of them are broken, aren't they? Really strong one you've got there.
A lean-to is good for 2-3 people. Not for 8. We should be doing an A-frame. You're going to hate me. I think a lean-to is wrong.
Why?
Because we're going to need the cool air from the sea to keep us cool at night. We're going to experience a lot of humidity from the jungle coming into our accommodation.
Yeah.
A lean-to is excellent if you've got 2 or 3 people sleeping in it, but 8, we should have an A-frame.
What about just for tonight though?
For tonight, it's great.
A-frame's going to be more difficult to build than a
Yeah,
lean-to.
but then again, you're nearly there. Let's just carry on now because you've done so much work, but I think we've got to change it tomorrow because we're going to be really...
If this happens again, don't just let me carry on and do it.
But I don't want to be bossy.
Where's the compass?
I think we ought to get water first because the sun is seriously going down now. We'll find the compass later.
See you in about 3 hours. South, west.
We need to be going in that direction. This is definitely right, believe me.
I believe you. Sounds good. Show me where the water hole is on the map. I'll just see whether there's a little path through
Go
it.
on then, I'll wait here.
It's just getting denser. And we've got about an hour to find it and get back. I suggest we go back. Unless you think we ought to go carry on straight through there.
Look, it's here! We found it! Oh my God! Oh my God, it's here! Wow! Well, I think it is.
Oh, God. Well done.
Surviving in this environment is not only about what you eat, but it's also about what you don't eat. And on the tables in front of you are 12 plants that you would normally find in this jungle. Now, some of those plants could kill you if you ate them. What I want you to do is to choose 4 edible plants from those in front of you. 4 edible plants. And when you've made your choices, I want you to place those 4 plants on these trays. Okay, make your choices. Okay, that's fine. You've had enough time to decide now. I need one of you from each team to come up and place your 4 chosen plants on these trays. Halang, let's start with you. And you have chosen one plant called cycad, which, if eaten, would kill you within 48 hours. And you've chosen another plant called rangus, which could choke you to death and would cause burns, secondary burns to your skin. Moving over to Ula, you have one plant, Putat Lao, which contains cyanide, which would cause, I'm told, a fairly painful death. But your other plants are edible. And your reward is a plant not grown in Britain, but loved by Britons, tea.
The thing that really surprised me was the fact that we weren't bothered by mosquitoes at all. That's probably down to the fact that we had some mosquito netting in our crates that we cracked open.
When I was told there'd be rats running around everywhere and snakes, I didn't actually expect to see 2 or 3 of each in my first night.
It was very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable. It was very close to other people.
Well, there's a cockroach still in bed with us.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Did you bring his
Brandy.
teddy bear?
We've named it.
We're all tired. I'm not too tired because I can sleep on a washing line, but we're all very hungry today.
Hunger pains is something that I haven't really experienced. I think we've all been hungry at home, but you get a sort of a crunching, gnawing feeling in your stomach, and it sort of, I wouldn't say it eats away at you, but it's painful. It's like a shock like this in your stomach, which is constant ache.
At the moment I'm finding this quite tough physically. I'm hungry all the time. Mike managed to smuggle some food in last night, a couple of sausages and stuff, so we had some of that.
I had 6 and I wrapped them all in cling film, and you can, I'm sure you can guess where they went.
The really funny thing was, when he told us on the boat he had 4 sausages with him, when we actually got on land and he got the sausages out from wherever he got them, he could only find 3. So we're just really hoping that in a couple of weeks' time he finds the other sausage if we're really hungry.
What's been washed up? What you got?
Honestly? Cigarette lighter has been washed up. And there's fuel in it.
No. Oh, is that legitimate?
Remember that?
Yeah.
It's got fuel in, yeah? It's got a hermit crab in as well. Gone. Excellent.
Does it need cleaning out?
Top scavenge.
Is that muck in there?
Been in the water there. I think it's just a bit.
No, but it's to get the sand out of it.
Oh, it's cleared it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Going in the flame. We don't know, we're just cleaning it out.
We're getting any spark, are we?
I don't think there's a lot of spark in it.
Wait till we get a trap. Wait, because he'll slip out your hand.
Yeah, use it as a pot.
What do you mean it's dying? Of course it's dying!
Well, kill it, we're paying. Kill it quickly, otherwise it's going to be in pain.
You ought to believe this. Richard was down there by the shore and a lighter washed up. Honestly, a gas lighter. What kind of snake are these then?
Pulled the net then. Its head moved.
Did it work? At least 15. And
yes! And two snakes.
Two snakes, look. Oh, that's not nice.
That's not nice. Are these venomous, these ones? Anyone know?
And two of them.
Cook our food on here, people. If you want to eat, we can cook on here.
Andy up, yeah.
Andy, we need you,
Wake him
please.
up, rouse him. There's kerosene. There's fuel there, yeah?
Kerosene. Caroline, or where? Caption. Where is it? Where is it? Does anybody know where the Caroline is?
Can we get some like wood?
Oh my God!
You guys.
Oh God, someone go find the Caroline. Someone please find the Caroline.
We're going to do
Quick,
the lamb.
just start cooking immediately.
There you go. Stop.
Do you?
I had a feeling today was going to be a good day.
You always do, darling, don't you?
Today was a fantastic day.
Behind me is Snake Island, whose inhabitants include the white-bellied sea eagle and the banded sea snake, two creatures locked in perpetual conflict and who have provided the inspiration for our tribal names. Halang, the Malay word for eagle, Ular, the word for snake. The tribes have been given a few days' grace to settle into the island, but after tribal council tomorrow, their lives take on a 3-day cycle. On day 1 is the reward challenge, where the winning tribe can receive something to make their lives a little easier on the island. On day 2 is the immunity challenge, like the one today, where the losers join me at tribal council tomorrow evening and vote one of their members off the island. Every day the survivors will face new hazards and dangers. Their camp may be rat and snake infested. They may be racked with hunger. But there's no doubt in this game the biggest threat to them is the vote at tribal council. Their very existence on the island depends on it.
We all get on so well together and there's certainly no friction, and I was expecting that before I came over, so we're extremely lucky. And it's sort of happening quite naturally. I don't think any of us are, or I hope none of us are working too hard at it. So, you know, if things do get tough and all the facade breaks down of the nice personality, there won't be too many nasty surprises underneath.
You're saying Jane?
Yeah. But I just think she's been really nasty, and I think we could do without that.
Yeah.
You know, even somebody who's not pulling their weight enough, I'd prefer them than somebody who's going to be really bitchy.
I thought, like, was it me? Because I was trying to,
believe
I was
it
trying to
when she
help
said that
out,
to you.
putting out the mats and things. I was just trying to help, and she just said, "Oh, you are a funny little man."
That's
I thought,
I'm going for a dip.
There is that possibility that we lose the challenge.
Yeah, you are absolutely right to think that. You're absolutely right to think that, and you've got to think of everything, because otherwise
I don't want to get there to the tribal council and think, oh shit, who am I voting on?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what.
Right.
Me, James, and Charlotte are agreed on the person we want of.
Right.
And there are
So
reasons
we need.
You need me to tell you, do you?
Well, you don't have to tell us. You may go.
I've decided.
Go on.
I'm not saying. I've just
Oh,
decided.
okay. So you're not telling us.
I've decided.
No, but I don't want them to have the satisfaction.
So the big question, which of the two groups of strangers has bonded sufficiently as a tribe to win the first challenge? This challenge is all about fire. Here's what you have to do. There are 2 rafts, about 150 foot out to sea. You have to bring those rafts back, lighting every torch along the way. If you fail to light even 1 torch, you will be disqualified. When you get back, you also have to light your side of the Malaysian fire spirit. Survivors ready? Go! said at the introduction that if you failed to light even one torch, you would be disqualified. Ulai, you failed to light one torch. So Helang has immunity idol, and you will see me tomorrow at Tribal Council.
Well, I haven't particularly performed well up until now. I had that first night incident where I was sort of like not very good, a bit of a weakling. I think I've got better over the past couple of days, but somebody's got to go, and I think the boys are doing a boys versus girls, and so that would be me.
I think Jackie's has for some reason started to become demoralised. I don't know why.
I think she may be accepting she's probably going to go.
It's going to get harder.
So then we have to make a decision now, don't we?
Right, it's Jackie.
Jackie. Okay.
I'm going to leave because
So we're settled.
Yeah, I'll coach you.
Okay. We have formed an alliance, and we've now brought into that Peter.
If there's going to be an alliance that goes forward from this group, it's going to have Nick in it.
What we've been looking at the last couple of days, the last day, is who in the team can we trust, and also works well under pressure, and thinks sharp, Plus, of course, got the physical stamina to go through, and you kind of fit that quite well.
Nick's started his alliance, and he thinks he's got 5 people in it, of which I'm one.
We're all still friends.
No, it's going to be
3 days we've become quite
it's very good friends, and it's horrible at anyone. That's why I was so glad when I thought we won yesterday. We wouldn't have to make this decision.
I think he thinks he has the game sewn up. Nick thinks I'm with him, and I'm not.
I've got an alliance going with Jackie already. How strong 2 people will be, I don't know.
So at the moment, we all get on well, apart from Nick. Nick is a strong influence, and he's very capable, and he's got a lot of skills. Yeah. But he's not giving anybody else a chance because he's so dominating that to break that, you've got to be really controversial and cause an argument. Yeah. I think he sees me as a threat. Yeah. I think that it's either going to be Nick or me, so I'm definitely going to vote Nick.
And there are 3 certainties about Tribal Council. You are held accountable for your actions, there will be a vote, and someone is going home. So they must take all their belongings with them on the 1-hour trek to Tribal Council. And on the way, they pass the island's active mud volcano. Welcome, Nick, to Tribal Council. Can you take your torches? You take your torches and gather round the fire. Dip them into the flame, light the torches and replace them on the stands, and take your seats at the Tribal Council. We begin with this ritual because, as I told you yesterday, fire represents your life on this island. Now, the bad news is that for one of you, your flame will be extinguished tonight. Could you start the voting, please?
This is nothing personal, I'm just really, really sorry to do this to you.
Gone for Jackie. It's not really anything you have done or you haven't done, it's just that we have to look at protecting the tribe to make sure we're the strongest we possibly can be
for the next events. Sorry, Jackie.
Nick, he doesn't say please, he doesn't say thank you.
I'll count the votes. Jackie. Jackie. Nick. 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 Jackie. That's 3 votes for Nick and 3 votes for Jackie. Nick. Nick. Nick, could you fetch your torch and bring it to the stand, please? As I said yesterday, Nick, fire represents your life on this island. I'm afraid your life on this island has come to an end. Could you extinguish your flame, please? The tribe has spoken, Nick, you must leave.
I'd like to vote Nick off because the other members of the team and I can't let our fires burn while he's on the island because he's such a control freak.
I may have pushed people too hard at several stages, but for me it was to get life as comfortable as possible, as soon as possible.
Your dictatorial approach is stifling the rest of the tribe and not letting our strengths come out.
The last day or so began to let people do their own thing more and more. If it had been up to me, we would have done an awful lot more and we would have been even more comfortable.
Because I believed him to be a threat to my existence on the island.
The person I feel was actually a turncoat. It was Richard.
Sorry, mate. You took a little bit too much control too early. You were weaving quite a tangled web. Don't trust anybody.
I think I'm on borrowed time now. I think I'm a marked person. I just have to work really hard and perhaps get those members of the group that voted for me last time to perhaps change their mind.
I think we woke up this morning and realised we were leaderless. So I think it's been replaced by democracy, really. People are volunteering to do things now. People are asking, would you like to do this? Do you want to do this? Rather than do this.
Meanwhile, on Halang Beach, the harsh realities of island life are starting to hit home for certain tribe members.
Uzma is a lovely, lovely girl, but she's been ill, and so she's finding it very difficult to contribute, which I imagine everybody's noticing. I certainly am.
People who are not feeling well can still do useful things.
Exactly.
Because they can be like collecting firewood, making sure the fire's built up, tidying the camp.
Starting to lash down the planks. They don't have to do it at 1,000 miles an hour.
It is very, very, very tough. It's not just about the game, it's about being out here, having lack of food, having awful water, which I'm not drinking enough of. I was major dehydrated.
Welcome to today's reward challenge, and this is about surviving in the most basic sense, what you're prepared to eat in the jungle to survive. Now these are butar, and these are considered to be a Malaysian delicacy. Tribesmen in the jungle survive on these. Now what I want you to do is to hand these around, take one, wash it, put it in your bowl and pass it on. They're considered to be a delicacy. They taste, I'm told, and I haven't tested it myself, but they taste like matured cheese. You each have to eat one butar. We shall start, JJ.
Bless her.
Eat the head then, mate.
Well, that's very impressive, and I'm sure you're all now protein enriched, but we have to break the deadlock, and to do that we want Helang to choose who they perceive to be the most squeamish member of the Ula tribe, and Ula to choose an individual from the Helang tribe. Remember, the first to swallow both butar wins the reward for their tribe. Go. So, to the reward, and we were trying to think what would make a perfect dessert for butar. Strawberries and cream.
When we left initially this morning, we didn't think we'd be that long, and now everything's washed away.
My shorts! Oh.
Where are they?
It's not because we thought we were going for like 20 minutes, yeah? And then you actually realised you're going for a 6-hour walk. 6 hours.
This is a snag net now, and we've got to try and unsnag it as much as we can. It's not effective otherwise. Look after your equipment, and your equipment looks after you. I think I'm a bit forceful. I snap every now and then. The reason I snap is because I have to say, wallop, this is wrong.
You're not ever more than 2 metres away from a rat, are you?
The thing was enjoying our fire. It was sat there. I'm so glad I haven't got my contact lenses in like I'm
supposed to be scared of fire, it's supposed to run off.
On Helang Beach, the tribe have repaired much of the camp's devastation. That done, their thoughts turn to more pressing matters, mainly hunger.
They're not that big, we need about 10 a day.
Obviously I'm absolutely starving hungry. We haven't had anything to eat. But I mean, even though I'm this hungry, there's no way I'd eat rat.
They should have a survival special of Ready Steady Cook.
Yeah.
Well, I've turned up with rat, rice. I think the sauce is crucial when eating rat.
Oh, it always is though, isn't it?
Who wants the drumstick?
Here goes rattling.
It's really nice.
Flavour horizon.
I'm joking.
No,
Gravy?
thank you.
Gravy?
It is really nice.
It's just like chicken, really.
It is like chicken.
Let's go for it.
Think?
It's all right.
It really tastes like anything, does it?
Today's challenge is all about ensuring the survival of one member of your tribe. Your job is to get into the jungle, to rescue your colleague, and to stretcher them back to the beach, putting the stretcher on this platform here. The first tribe to do that wins immunity. You've now got 15 minutes to construct your stretcher from materials you find on the beach here. Go!
Yeah, that's it. Lash it like that. Then thread it round that one.
Oh, hold on a second.
I think someone should lie on it now.
We have a lie on
Try
the
it.
test.
No, come back. 2, 3. Right.
That's fine.
3. Yes. Survivors ready? Go!
Come on, a carabiner! I've got to be lifted up to get it off.
Get the stretch down, get the stretch down.
Okay. Go! Wait.
Hold on, wait.
Hello!
Catching me up now.
Fire now!
Coming up behind.
No!
Coming past the side.
Right, please!
Go! Hard!
Get on! What do you fucking think you're doing, kicking a fucking woman? You arsehole! Careful! Go!
Come on, I saw you last time. Beat me now. Come on!
Having lost the immunity challenge, tensions within Halang are visibly mounting.
Coconut shells, and we've got coconut shells there. Nobody knows where the fuck anything is. And I'm starting to get pissed off. All we're doing is saying, where's this? Where's that? Does anybody know where this is? Does anybody... We should know where these things are. Look at the place. It's a bloody shit thing.
JJ is certainly, she's far too overpowering for me. She's bossing people around, and she makes you too frightened really to get involved, too frightened to do things, because she's shouting at you, no, don't do it this way, do it this way, and she's trying to lead everyone, and people don't want to be led. We want to work as a team.
6:40 in the morning, and already the temperature on the island is approaching 80 degrees.
We got a shark. Bloody hell. It is a shark. Oh my God, he's looking at me.
Yeah, his eyes are moving.
And look at me.
they look fierce when they're small.
They
don't
do.
they?
My God, imagine meeting a big one of them. But this is dinner.
Short Steve. It's nice and meaty.
It's bloody great, that. Well, what about getting this? Oh my God! We don't want him to eat the other fish.
Right, hold him here. Hold him here. Where I've got him. Really hard.
Right. Have you got the bowl, Uzma?
No, I've got the bowl. Just turn him around this way so we can get him on the bowl.
Oh, I can't hold the bowl.
I've got the bowl, I've got the bucket.
Right, if you hold the bucket and I'll untangle him.
Put him in. Well done.
Personally, Usma, even though she's so strong in herself, I think as the team is, she is the weakest person.
I mean, personally, just because she's a lovely girl, Uzma, but she has been quite sick on 2 occasions. And I think if that happens on an immunity day, that could really affect things.
Right, the result is a draw between Uzma and JJ. Could the other 6 please go away, discuss it, and make a decision?
She's not giving other people a chance. I can cook shark.
JJ, could you fetch your torch and bring it to the stand, please?
2 days ago, Charlotte told me that I was going to get the million, which is hypocritical to say the least. She's the fluffiest, most useless person in the team.
She's nice, but just too bossy.
Usma said to me today, "You're the nicest person that I know," which is strange considering she voted me out. But that's maybe because I think they thought that I was a threat. I'd just like to say I know exactly who voted against me.
With JJ's expulsion, Halang seem leaderless, with Andy, for reasons best known to himself, refusing to take charge. There's also friction between the age groups in Halang, which could immeasurably weaken the tribe.
I tried to get people up at 5:30. I mean, they weren't going to get up. So we've missed that opportunity of getting the raft out, say, an hour and a half earlier, which is annoying.
While Halang try to pick up the pieces, Ula, although they have little food, have time to think about making life more pleasant and engendering a spirit of camaraderie in the camp.
There you go, love.
Thank you, that's much better than that.
Anything for the weekend?
So how's your day been?
It's all right, you know.
Oh, you.
You going on holiday?
Going out tonight.
You got a boyfriend? I'm going to Ibiza. My first baby's called Ibiza. Mallorca and Cortina. We're waiting for Martini.
So she went up to this kid.
Shall I give you a mullet?
Right.
I'm going to Nature and Paces for afternoon tea later on. And we shall have a game of charades. And we shall sit around the pianoforte and sing 1 or 2 lullabies.
Oh, yeah. It's fitting. It's actually a game of polo.
You will have 3 minutes to put on the t-shirt, stand up, and organise yourselves into as many words as possible. Once you've created a word, put your arms in the air and you will get 1 point for creating that word. If Congratulations first to Halang, you made 4 words, but the winners are Ula, who made 5 words in the 3 minutes allowed. And this is your reward. It's a reward that only compounds Halang's disappointment. Ula have won 4 tins of food and the equipment to catch fish when the tins run out. A snorkel, a spear, a mast, flippers and a knife.
When you're on a losing streak and there's food involved and you're already feeling weak,
And you're starving.
and you see the food that they've got and you know that you've got an activity challenge the following day, it makes it tough.
Oh, he's got tomato sauce. Yes. Pete, go for that one.
Crispy rice and baked beans.
Yes. Ready, go.
Oh.
Slightly different, isn't it?
Just because they're the maturer group doesn't mean they're any better or deserve to go on to the next round, do they?
I just feel a little disappointed that things are going that way because of personalities. It's really bugging me. But I can't do much about it.
I don't understand why they would come here just for a holiday.
Just because we're having a bit of fun along the way, it doesn't mean that we're not committed.
If I wanted to go on a holiday, I'd take my family. I wouldn't come away with 7 complete strangers.
Welcome to the Immunity Challenge. Surviving on this island is partly about what you can salvage. Today's Immunity Challenge is about taking something from the sea and bringing it back to shore. We're going to ask the tribes to swim out to those buoys. Directly below those buoys are 2 sunken treasure chests. Those chests I want you to bring back to the beach. Survivors ready?
Good luck, guys.
Begin. Halang arrived back at their beach, ready for a post-mortem on just why it all went so badly wrong.
I can face a defeat that's
That was a whitewash.
close,
That was a whitewash.
but it was disgraceful, really.
I'm a bit pissed off because first time today, I question whether, I hope I'm wrong, whether we've got enough desire to win. We walked out there with our blooming arses in our hands.
Most of Ula spend the rest of the afternoon relaxing and bonding on their beach.
Caught 2 rats in our new rat trap. They're in there. It's a weird island, this, because when you don't try to catch something, you catch something. And when you try to catch food, you can't catch it.
I'm going to drown them, I think.
Get it done and over and done with. It's just really cruel. They're in there. But you don't need to eat it. I know it's meat, but you do not need to eat the rats to survive, do you?
Well, I must admit, I'd like to kill all the rats on the island so they stop fucking waking me up in the middle of the night. Bath rats? Bath rats? Fucking hell, they're jumping quite high though. I best not put too much water in, you know. They almost jump into the lid side.
That's it then, that's it. That's it. That's it.
They did.
It's probably the worst thing I've had to do in my life, that is. Terrible.
I couldn't have done it. No, thank you.
Ula spend their free day relaxing and fishing, safe in the knowledge that it is Halang who are going to Tribal Council tonight.
This morning I noticed it was very quiet when I came back to camp, and I think Uzma, Charlotte and Adrian have something going probably.
Uzma, myself and Aid have got, I suppose, an alliance together really, haven't we? And we trust what each other's going to do.
Yeah.
But unfortunately Simon's not part of that.
But I did say at the start that I would use the fact that I can get on with people to my advantage.
I don't trust Simon at all.
Simon, I don't know which way he's going to go, and of course that's the crucial thing.
Well, it's been a pretty miserable few days for you, isn't it? You've lost the reward challenge, you've lost the immunity challenge, and you're back here tonight, and it's now time for 7 of you to become 6. Jane. Uzma. Jane. James. Uzma. Uzma. Uzma.
The team needed to gel together. It needed to have the right people there with the right mental attitude, and I think mine had fizzled away.
The tribes are waking up to their 11th day on the island and are suffering the effects of their worst night so far. Torrential rain and violent storms made sleep an even more elusive commodity than usual.
God almighty. That was the worst 12 hours of mine. 12 hours.
Was it only 12 hours?
Yeah. I didn't really intend to catch breakfast. I was just angry, so just kept hitting away until something stopped moving. That's my bed. I'm not sharing it with anybody. All right.
Get off my foot. I regularly come into contact with hunting, trapping animals, and then be it gutting them, skinning them, and then preparing them to be eaten. And that's a normal part of my daily life at home.
What's it taste like?
Chicken.
Of course.
Actually, it tastes like rat.
Ula have just eaten rat for the first time, but Halang know only too well what it tastes like. So James is busy inspecting the tribe's nets in the hope that today at least there will be a more appetising alternative on the menu.
Did you want to do one then, Adrian?
Nah.
I reckon you should, mate.
You should do it just for an experience, you know.
How often do you get the chance to gut a shark?
No, I definitely couldn't do it. I'm gonna feel real sick. I'm not going to eat any shark because I can't stand to actually see it cut up and gutted. And then try and eat it afterwards.
Listen, can somebody go in the jungle and catch a cheeseburger?
Yeah, that's what I need.
Let's put the cheeseburger net out.
Can you imagine being stuck here with Andy, Jane and James?
Well, I wouldn't want to be here. I really wouldn't.
It would make it hell again. Like,
Really
I feel like the first 2
boring.
days.
You know, you'd just make sure you packed everything on the way to Tribal Council because you would be going.
It seems pretty obvious to me that Charlotte is the leader of the young faction.
Yeah.
Because without wishing to sound too cruel, I don't think Adrian is bright enough to figure it out on his own.
I don't think he is
I
either.
think he's very much following Charlotte's lead.
Yeah, he is. He's like the lamb to the slaughter.
So I'm not being pushed around and shoved out by Andy and Jane, that's for sure.
No, I know.
It's a game and I don't like to lose. Especially
No,
not,
I don't want to lose.
especially not to them two.
While Halang continue to be weakened by internal bickering, tension mounts and nerves now begin to fray within Ulan, more than likely as a result of sleep deprivation after last night's storms.
I think it all got a bit sort of heated in there, didn't it, when we were discussing who was able to do the challenges and who wasn't?
It was a comment made by Jackie afterwards that really got right up my nose, which related back to a challenge we did on the log. And it was something along the lines of, well, at least I didn't fall off the log. And it was like, where did that come from? A list of stupid things you've said and done.
Started to get grate on each other's nerves a little bit now, which makes it a little bit more interesting because it's quite nice having a whinge about someone rather than going, they're lovely. My whinge is about Sarah because she drives me absolutely mad. Everybody is going without and everybody's sleeping under a drip and not complaining, or a torrential downpour as it might be, as it was the other night. And everyone's getting on with it, but all you just keep hearing in the background is Sarah complaining. It means so much to me to get a good night's sleep. It means a lot to all of us to get a good night's sleep. Like, just get on with it.
The object of the challenge is to get from A to B via all the numbers but avoiding the obvious pitfalls, i.e. the holes. You get 3 attempts each, there's no time limit, take as long as you like. Quite simply, the tribe that gets the furthest will win the reward.
That's it, safe, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Oh!
Oh my God. Ever so slightly more gentle. Have we got movement?
Yeah, a bit wrong there, slightly.
Okay.
That's it.
Steady.
Whoa. Don't flick it towards me because it'll go down the hole.
Yeah, and 19, watch 19.
18 and 19 are quite difficult. Okay, down Ellie.
Well, Halang, congratulations. It seems your fortunes may have taken a turn for the better. 3 new members of your tribe. Just how long they remain members is up to you, really.
We could probably put it on the raft here.
They need to be fed.
Yeah. Well, 2 of them did.
That's okay.
Well done, Andy.
Well done, mate. I have never ever, mate, witnessed that being done before.
Well, you see, the thing is, most people, if they want chicken, they go to the supermarket and they buy a chicken in a plastic bag. And for them, they can pretend that this never happened. But of course it did. It just didn't, it happened out of their eyesight.
It's ready!
Chicken's ready! Right. There is the leg portion.
Where's the bowl? Pass the bowl over.
God, we're living like upper class people.
We could make some soup after.
Oh, we've got to boil the chicken carcass, definitely.
How's it looking?
It's delicious. Very good.
Lovely.
With food now in abundance, Halang's spirits appear to be lifted, but both tribes are about to experience their second successive uncomfortable night. Welcome to today's immunity challenge. The challenge is about finding masks. There are 20 spirit masks placed around the swamp. Yellow for Halang, blue for Ula. Quite simply, the tribe that receives their mast first wins immunity. Begin. Congratulations, Halang. You already had the 10 masks. You didn't need to go for another one. This belongs to your tribe, Charlotte. Having lost their immunity, Ula face tribal council tomorrow night. Consequently, alliances will need to be re-established, and where better to do so than in private on the water run.
But Pete, Mick, you and me, vote Sarah off. That's what I'd be more inclined to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll talk to Mick.
I think Jackie has a problem with you, and she has had a problem with me. And if we want to survive as a four, you need someone that you can go and broach difficult subjects with.
My objection is to invite somebody in and then just... You think she's so stupid she doesn't know which side of bread's buttered?
But I don't think you can rely on her vote. And for how long is Jackie just going to vote how we tell her to vote?
Yeah.
She's not.
If you can convince Mick and Pete to vote off Sarah, we're in a four there, which we can stick in. And then whoever annoys us most out of Eve and Rich, we can sort of like get rid of next time.
Jackie's doing it now for her own survival. Zoe, you know you can rely on her because of what happened in the last round of voting.
I just think, you know, that even there's honour amongst thieves, in fairness.
I think you've got to be cold-hearted about it.
So when do I become expendable?
Soon the 7 of Ula must become 6 for one of you. Your life on the island is over. Sarah. Sarah, could you bring your torch to the stand, please?
I think Jackie would have been swayed by whoever told her to vote. So perhaps I'm wrong, perhaps she was under the impression that we were all voting for Zoe.
I want to clear the air because I know you've lied to me. So
yeah, but that's the nature of the game though.
Do you have a problem with me? I just want to front it up.
No, I haven't got a problem with you.
But you obviously don't think you trust me.
No.
Okay. Thanks for telling me, though. Okay.
And you're next.
While alliances might ensure an individual's survival at tribal council, they can also lead to recriminations.
The fact that Sarah was voted off was a complete shock to myself, and I have no doubt that it was a shock to Sarah as well.
I know Eve's furious, but I can picture her face day before yesterday when she was about to dump you, saying, "It's just a game."
Jackie, in my mind, is the weakest member of the tribe. Physically, mentally, she's not stable in her emotions. Today, she's all very stroppy with me, won't speak to me. And I'm sick of having to pussyfoot around her.
Yeah, it's a game when you're winning. It's personal when you're losing.
So I've learnt a lot about Richard. He was coming out with the comments of, I must be seen to maintain the moral high ground so that, I'm a professional doctor with 2,500 patients at home and I must be seen to be honest and fair to the public and to my patients. And actually, with hindsight, and you start to put comments together, Rich is intending to emigrate out to America as soon as he can after leaving the island. So he doesn't care two jots about his patients back in Wales. What yesterday has taught me is about not only Richard and Jackie, but my concern over Zoe and the fact that she's an actress. And would I be duped by her and her acting abilities? And the answer is yes, I was.
Sweetheart, if I was any sort of actress, you think I'd be here being bitten to death by sand fleas? No, I'd be on tour somewhere in England, in my changing room with a large gin and tonic saying, wasn't I marvellous? This, don't worry, I'm not that good.
Although the storm clouds continue to gather, nothing can dampen Halang's spirits after winning their third challenge in 4 days.
Chocolate beer. Chocolate beer.
How many
How many are you having?
I've got 5 squares. Boy, that tastes good.
Oh, I'm just going to have to lie down after all that excitement.
You're going to lie down with that piece of foil.
2 miles along the coast on Ular Beach, the disappointment can only be expressed by discussing their opponents, possibly to avoid turning on each other.
Who needs chocolate? Chocolate. God, she's some gobbler though, isn't she? What? She's been trapped on a beach with that. Is her name Charlotte? Yes. Bikini Babe, we call her anyway. She seems to have a large wardrobe of various spangly bikinis. And she's incredibly loud. She talks very loudly all the time. It's like, oh my God.
Who's going to do the horrible thing later on?
I'll do that.
No, I'll run and hide then.
James is not only capable of killing, but at times he seems quite eager to kill. I think we should rename him the Terminator.
Andy just said you've got to actually pull it a lot harder than you think. So I twisted its neck and I pulled it really hard, but its head came off. But at least it didn't suffer very much. That's you and me.
That does it.
That's not nice, is it?
You didn't do it like Andy said.
See what you think, left friend. I know it's not nice.
Horrid.
How do you feel?
Well,
you alright?
not very nice, really.
Huh? Shaking?
No. Just glad I did it fairly quickly, yeah?
It's all quite
quick?
Yeah.
Please.
This morning, after quite heavy rain all night, somebody got up and realised that there's a likelihood that our actual tent could be flooded. All of those big logs down there are all coming down the swamp and floating along, wiped away all of the bank. We're cut off from all of our toilet area and things like that. The snakes have been washed out of the swamp and coming up the beach and hiding under our wood pile. The wood pile's almost nearly been washed away. So it's a bit of a bad night all in all, really.
You haven't slept a wink all night.
It was just one of those nights, wasn't it, where it wasn't raining, then it was raining, then you try and get dry for all of a second.
It wasn't too bad, I can't really complain. It was very wet on the outside, but I just got to near to Andy as I possibly could. And my feet were wet, but I've had worse.
We've been eating very well, we've been very fortunate in the reward challenges. We've been eating chicken, we've had chocolate last night, spaghetti. So we're feeling very strong, and also comparing our physiques with the physique of the other tribe. We just think we're very well placed for any physical challenge, but today is very important. The danger for us is either complacency or we get disqualified or do something stupid. That really is, as I see it, the only danger for us today.
I think you'll find today's challenge, the jungle assault course, perhaps the toughest yet. Survivors, go! James, you went under one, over the other. Consequently, Halang, you are disqualified. And Ula, immunity is yours. Halang, I will see you at Tribal Council tomorrow night.
Charlotte, out of the whole tribe, is quite a big bugbear for me. I think Charlotte will really try and get me voted off.
Jane the Pain, I've called her. Hopefully she'll be going tonight. I'm certainly going to be voting for her.
I think she's very devious and clever.
I'm not an argumentative person at all, and I won't pick a fight with anyone, and I won't cause any problems whilst I'm here on the island. In fact, I'll bend over backwards to try and get on with people.
Well, I mean, she's playing the game probably a lot better than I am. She uses her attractiveness to keep in touch with the men, I think.
She's obviously the oldest woman here. I don't know if she's got a chip on her shoulder about it, but she's called me an old woman 4 times now.
an annoying old woman, a stupid old woman, a silly old woman, and she's also called me a dog.
James, it's been a pretty difficult night for you.
Yeah, I thought actually it was a very cheap trick that you played on us, and frankly I expected something of higher quality from a man like you.
Do you feel vulnerable because of what happened?
I should do.
Do you?
I said I should do. Stop asking dumb questions.
Right, Halang, you are 6. You will soon be 5. Jane.
I think that there was a bit of a personality clash between Charlotte and myself. Never quite worked out why.
Mainly because she can't dive, and I feel there may be another swimming challenge, and also because she keeps calling me a stupid old woman.
Welcome to Ula Boot Camp. The food sucks, the sleep is non-existent, and the starts are early.
The survivors have been called to the mud volcano so both tribes can be told at the same time what the challenge will be. No doubt you're wondering why we've asked you to come to the mud volcano. For today's reward challenge, what I want you to do is return to your beaches and build the best distress signal you can with whatever materials you can find. You better head off now. True to form, Halang are their usual disorganised selves. But how creative will Ula be?
So we've got to make it clear we want to not only don't need help, we actually need to leave the island.
Save 6 now.
Save 6 now.
Even in the middle of a reward challenge, Ula are organised enough to delegate survival responsibilities. On Halang Beach, as the temperature rises, some tribe members are beginning to suffer.
Feel dizzy.
The international symbol for distress is an X.
Do a massive X?
I think a massive X.
Well, let's do a massive X then.
I think it's probably being realistic.
Yeah, because I think...
I mean, I'd love to do this,
it looks
but
great.
I almost fainted back there.
I know, I was feeling really sick. Let's do it then.
Good idea, bad execution.
As desperation begins to take hold, Halang are forced to hatch a new plan and rethink their distress signal with just 30 minutes remaining.
Adrian's attitude is very poor, considering he's in a game where potentially you could win £1 million and you're working with a team of people. He just does not have that team spirit. Adrian is incredibly selfish. He's incredibly selfish, he admits it. He's lazy Aid.
So Aziz, we'll have a look at this one. That's not bad at all, is it? What do you think of that beach down there? It looks good. What are you looking for in a distress signal then?
Well, it's the best form of markings on the ground on the sand.
We should just sat on our raft all day.
For once, we've decided to break with routine and give something other than food as a reward for this particular challenge. It may not be a decision that sits well with a hungry Ula, especially after they've had to row out so far to collect it.
Toilet rolls.
For a second, I thought I was playing Jingle Bells. It must be a booby prize.
No, we won.
Wow.
Are we very ungrateful?
I'm sorry, but that's a heap of shit. Yeah?
Yeah.
Fuck ungrateful.
Today's immunity challenge is about using maps to find things. You've got to nominate a swimmer and a rower. The swimmer goes out to those flags and on my signal swims to the buoy.
That's it, you're in the lead, Charlotte!
Below the buoy is a bottle. You bring the bottle to the surface, you get on the raft, across the bridge and onto the rowing boat. You then row to the beach. On the beach you open the bottle. In the bottle are two maps. One will give you the location of a treasure chest buried somewhere on this beach. The other will give you the location of a key somewhere in the jungle.
You are here.
Got it!
The best thing to do is to send one person off to get the key, following the spirit masts, while the others dig for the treasure chest.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Logging tree, that's those two. Yeah. In there. Okay, you happy with that?
18, 19, 20. Get the key! Run it! Run it!
We can see the lock.
This side! This side! Turn it round!
In the lock. In the lock.
I've got one handle here.
Where's the amulet?
It's okay.
One in 6 chance of winning
One
a
in
million.
6.
Yeah, 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah, for one of us, not for you, Jackie.
Welcome. We just couldn't believe that we beat Halang so convincingly.
We slaughtered them.
Just a bit. Every stage of that race. Yeah.
Cheers!
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 Here's to Ula. Come. Don't spill it, boy!
I would like to say that Halang are very, very good losers. But then we should be, because we get more practice at it than the rest.
Go into that thing. I thought these premonitions really weird.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm going to win the million.
I think this is the right way to go.
The thing is, my money's also on you to win the million as well.
Thank you, darling.
Charlotte, don't forget us when you're famous, will you?
Penny, I won't be winning the million, but I will be earning it.
We think you have got the best.
You have got it in you, Charlotte, definitely.
I don't think so. I really
They spend an awful lot of time in each other's company.
Are they really?
They are, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, they voted together at every tribal council.
Charlotte is a very, very clever lady, and she uses her attractiveness and her personality to get people on her side.
Charlotte is the thinking person.
I get on quite well with Charlotte. She's basically the closest one to my age.
He's here for a bit of a laugh.
We have the same sort of discussions. We talk about the same sort of things.
He's a lad, through and through lad.
I suppose she's the one I get on with the most.
He's too honest for his own good, because he's confessed everything to me and Simon.
They were sleeping outdoors together and stuff like that.
We seem to need more sleep than
Well, I don't sleep for the night.
they do.
So they've got this tight thing going at the moment.
Have a bite of that. He's good looking and he's a laugh, and I'm sure the girls will love him.
Trousers gone. I reckon I've lost 2 inches around my waist.
You've lost 2 inches elsewhere, normally.
I'm not saying a word.
I feel too dirty and gross to even try it on with anyone.
Well, I would never vote against you.
What stage would you vote Adolf? Or wouldn't you?
Well, he's got to go at some stage anyway.
Tomorrow Halang ceases to exist. 4 of you will continue your lives on this island. 1 of you will not. James. James.
It's me.
Adrian. Adrian. Adrian.
I did think I was a very good judge of character, but I'm beginning to doubt myself after the surprise that Simon's landed on me.
Nice guy, just not enough effort around the campsite to win £1 million. Got a lot to learn, mate.
Dawn has just broken on day 20 here on Pulau Tiga. For the final time, the survivors wake as 2 separate tribes and set off on their rafts. They've been told to visit and inspect each other's beaches before meeting at a special island council. There, they will be told what the future holds for them. Now the 2 tribes will merge into one, a tribe called Sekutu. But in truth, it's every man and every woman for themselves. Only one person can leave this island with £1 million. I've just used the terms Ular and Halang for the last time. Those tribes no longer exist. And what we need to do is to remove the insignia of the tribes and to burn the flags. So could you please do so? Now, could you all remove your T-shirts and place them on the fire, please? Their first task as a merged tribe is to raft back to what will now be called Sekutu Beach, giving former Ular and Halang members the chance to meet each other properly. But the whole tribe must immediately work together to build a new camp for its 10 members, because we've stripped the beach of all shelter.
You've got the heavy end. You have? Why do you think I actually walked straight to this side? It's going to be blooming difficult, because if they got the same view as us, which was like we're going to get rid of them systematically one by one, we can't win, we can't go anywhere. But I don't think it's anywhere near as tight as that.
The only chance we've got really is if there is some kind of division within Ular. And I think at the moment we're in the game of just watching, listening, soaking things up like a sponge, and keeping our mouths shut basically.
Richard, I just don't trust him at all. He's continually giving funny looks.
He's got evil eyes.
I hate his eyes. I just don't trust him at all. I don't like to even look at him in the face. Honestly, I don't.
He's just sort of mad.
And he's
killer,
a doctor.
Yeah, I know.
My God, I wouldn't go to him if I had flipping a heart attack.
We've sort of known Halang for nearly 3 weeks now. So yes, we've had a chance to make some opinions. Charlotte is the first person we hear as we go into a challenge and the last person we hear as we have departed from a challenge.
It just feels really weird being here and just waiting to be voted off, really.
Basically, as a tribe, we're pretty much gunning for Simon at the moment, but we know that his approach is to go all out for the immunity awards, but we've got 6 people who are going all out just to beat him and get rid of him.
Now, today's challenge is all about sheer willpower and determination. Now, when I give you the signal, you'll have to stand on that log, and you can stand on that log as long as you like, whether it takes 15 minutes or 15 hours. I'll be waiting for you here in the shade, having a cool drink. It's pretty clear, it's pretty simple. Can you move out to the log, please? Drivers ready, stand up.
Oh, what the hell, it's only £1,000,000 for a beer.
Only one thing that kept me out there, and that was thinking about the people that I love back home. And when I think about them, I get very, very strong. And because it's Mothering Sunday today, I haven't been able to get in touch with my mother, obviously. And I'd just like to say that I love my mother very, very much, and I hope this in some way recompenses for the fact that I haven't been able to get in touch with her today.
Night has fallen after another extraordinary day on Pulau Tiga, and Sekutu begin the long trek to their first tribal council. And after the immunity challenge, some are probably more tired than others. Pete, you're the last to vote. I'll count the votes. Simon. Eve. Richard. Zoe. Simon.
There's some people in the Ular tribe that don't deserve to be there. Jackie and Zoe. who have just basically been able to jump on the bandwagon of some of the better competitors.
On Sakutu Beach, former tribal tensions are leading to upset within the new tribe.
We're on a beautiful island with the sun shining, everything I love, the sea, the sand, and I'm so miserable. It's unbelievable. I feel there's no incentive for me to stay. There's no chance I've got of winning the £1 million. And I sort of came to that conclusion when we knew we were going in a minority. But even so, the atmosphere is horrible.
We seem to be cooking rice like it's going out of fashion. And that's not the point. The point is to survive ourselves.
Eve keeps throwing away the old rice because she wants fresh, hot rice every time. Well, I'm sorry, but if you're a survivor, you will eat dry, rotten, cold, horrible rice.
Next time we serve it up, Charlotte, you can have the dried, crunchy stuff.
I've eaten the dry rice, Eve, plenty of times.
We are throwing it away because we're cooking too much.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, maybe you could stop cooking so much then, please.
Well, you too as well.
I'm not.
Someone who's got such an opinionated mouth can't even keep it shut for £1 million must be a pathetic madam.
I'm just pissed off with it. I'm just looking forward to them going. I just want to get these next 3 out the way.
It'd be nice if we could all get along, sort of, you know.
It's all a little bit polite now, isn't it? It's all like, no, please sit on my bed with your wet shorts and your sandy ass. No, I don't mind at all.
She wants to go straight back into the army and start ordering round her little corporals like the little sergeant major she is. Sure, it's got nothing to do with the fact she's 4'2".
Some of the former members of Ula, however, are trying to stay on the right side of what remains of Halang, and with good reason.
If you get down to the last 2 people, certainly the 3 votes are going to come from the Halang tribe, so you've got to make friends with Halang now. I'm not putting myself in the last 2 yet, but it needs to be thought about from today rather than thought about from when you're just down to the last 6 of Ula.
What the fuck? Oh no, for fuck's sake!
No problem.
No, that's great. I just get up at the crack of flaming dawn, go out here in the middle of the sodding South China bloody sea and throw my flaming hook in the water with no line on it.
Right, could the finalists take to the water, please? That's James, Andy and Zoe. At stake here, for whoever stays down longest, a night of 5-star luxury. Survivors dive. Well done, Zoe, brave attempt, 54 seconds.
Yeah, well done, mate.
1:31, Andy.
Let go, James, love, you've won.
What's the point of being down there?
Any time now, you can open your eyes, James, and look around.
Isn't it? We've gone.
Any second now.
Well done, James. That's 1:52. That beats your last attempt. 1 minute, 52 seconds. Well done. I think you win the reward outright. You can decide whether you want to share it with someone, another member of the tribe. You have 10 seconds to decide whether you want to share it and who you want to share. Andy. Well done. I hope you have a good time. Well done.
we worried tonight?
Are we worried? No. Could we give a bugger?
No.
Go on! I got one!
Really?
Yeah!
Oh my god!
It's so easy!
Sit on the fire
It's so easy! It's easy!
I just put a pile of rice underneath my feet and lifted the spear, like, and he just went for the rice and he just speared it.
Goodness sake.
Right, try again.
We might as well cook it. Rat thermidor, my particular favourite.
Rat Wellington.
Ratatouille, sliced delicately with vegetables and tomato sauce.
Rat au vin, he'll love the type.
Rat fondue, my favourite.
Rat curry.
Dip a hot rat into melted chocolate and a rigor mortis of its tail like that.
Good morning, James.
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
Very well indeed.
Yeah. Marvellous. We're going to have to tell them that these rewards are worth winning. They're not worth losing immunity for, but they are bloody worth winning.
How many people want?
I want. Oh, a bitch, yeah.
Oh, hey!
Oh, what?
Hi, honeys. We're home.
Fantastic experience. We had a fantastic night.
Did you?
Yeah,
we had a lovely meal.
Oh, James and I don't want to tell you because you'll just be jealous, won't they? Well, what happened? Well, we sat around, we ate some rice, and then Pete speared a rat through the head with a harpoon.
Yeah.
And then we all went to bed.
Then we all went to bed.
Many of the challenges so far have been about strength and stamina and determination, qualities you need for survival, but surviving is also about acquiring knowledge, learning what you can and what you can't eat. James and Petey are the last two in the game. If a snake bites you on the hand, you should hold your hand A, above your heart, B, level with your heart, C, below the heart. Make your decision now. The answer is C, below the heart. You should have stayed where you were. James, you're eliminated.
The reason for going out onto the raft was purely to protect Pete and just to make sure that the thumb screws weren't being turned too much. Certainly, I think what they're playing on is, you know, Pete, you're an athlete, Pete, you won immunity, Pete, you're the guy that deserves to win Survivor, you know, if you get that far, you know, we'll vote for you.
I'm quite convinced they're still actually plotting and scheming, even today.
But good for them though.
Oh yeah, it's all
But
part of it.
they don't need to be bitter about it, just
do it.
just be resigned to failure. Losers.
It's a game to get rid of the people who could beat you to £1 million. And yeah, Andy's a nice guy and he's a deserving person. But
let's face it, we ain't gonna win if he's here.
No.
And I'm not here for the suntan. You know, it's like it's survival, however you manage to do it.
And you've got to be a little callous at times and say, yes, the reason we are voting you off, and this was my reason for Simon, will be my reason for Andy tonight, is you're too good. So you're a threat. So we have to get rid of you. So, but that's the game.
Sorry, Albie.
What have you got? You've got a fish! Charlotte shark! Should we all be quiet? Fish! I'm fishing! Do you know there's not a fish left in the South China Sea? They're all like that in the Pacific going.
Shut up!
Ringing
That should have
in
been
my ears.
That should have been one of the questions yesterday. Where is the lesser spotted Charlotte shark found? Dredging loudly.
Bless her. She's awfully bubbly.
I'll count the votes. Jackie.
As my final act, I continue to play this game to a strategy that I hope will benefit Charlotte, James, or Pete.
Richard. Andy. Andy. Andy.
I take this evening's events as a compliment. Thank you all for the compliment you've paid me, and good luck for the rest of the game. Now that I have left, I will become the first jury member. I will take those responsibilities very seriously, and I will do my utmost to ensure that a deserving person wins the prize.
I'm sleeping exactly where Simon used to
Alright.
sleep. No! Get off!
Rat.
Rat.
There's one
Thought I'd
here.
done something to you then.
I've got it. I've got it under the coconut.
Right, you are brilliant.
Oh! It nearly escaped then. Oh my god, it's half escaped. Oh,
Bash
quick.
it, get his head,
Quick.
get his head.
No, I'm not.
No, I'll do it.
Oh, you
I'll
hold
do
it.
it.
Oh no, don't make me hold it.
It's dead.
Quick, take your hand. Take my hand away from it. Oh.
Get your hands off. I've got it.
Oh, I can't bear it.
Day 26 on the island and the new tribe's 7th morning together. Some Sakutu members are working hard around the camp, but there's a feeling in certain quarters that others simply are not pulling their weight.
So has any chopsticks been washed this morning? I've only got a few.
Yeah, I think Jackie was washing them.
Fucking pissed off. Charlotte, James and Pete have sat on their asses all morning and done nothing but cook their own meals, which is what they choose to do now.
Eve is an absolute nightmare, and I will do my damnedest to make sure she doesn't win £1 million, because she doesn't deserve it. She's a bossy little crow.
Unfortunately, the two people from Halang that we've already voted off were the two that you could relatively get on with, and the whole reason they were voted off first is because they were the best competitors. Now we're left with the dross, and the whole reason they haven't been voted off is because they were not deemed to be a threat and not deemed to be good competitors. And now you've got to live with them for the next 6 days, and they just wind me up every time I have to look at them. Every time they open their mouth, they come up with more crap. So it's just you're left with Halang's dross now, and I just can't wait to get rid of them.
What time's your rice, Jack?
I can't face it at the moment. I'll have a bit in a minute.
Quite early, isn't it?
But it's not that, it's just so disgusting.
Rice.
I'm just so fed up with it. I swear I'll never ever eat rice again after
We've been
this.
eating so much.
I know.
Yesterday when we had the Ray with it, I hardly even noticed I was eating the rice.
You can have a whole rat instead.
Charlotte, are you having more?
Yeah, I'll have a little bit more.
Pete, are you having more? Have you got any water? This stuff again.
What is it?
I'm cooking rice now because 3 have already had breakfast, yes? Yeah. Oh, well, I'll have more rice, and I'll have more rice, and I'll have more rice as well. So what happened about portions and, like, having to ration the rice? So what's the point? Pete's attitude this morning, he just sits about. He won't serve himself food. You have to serve him. He's just such a little boy. And he gets this big moral high ground. This, I can't vote people off because it's nasty. So now he hangs around Halang all the time, sort of being their friend.
Peter's never once had to fight or think about his position on this island.
No.
He's never once had to approach anybody about ensuring his position on this island. No. Pete hasn't got a bloody clue what's going on.
Not at all. He's not even playing a game, he's just living here.
He hasn't a clue. And it's beginning to really annoy me, this sort of, he stood on a log like Christ sat on a log or whatever, and it's like,
I know.
Wake up,
he seems to
smell
hold
the coffee.
Inane conversations about eating chocolate bars when nobody wants to talk about eating chocolate bars because we're all starving, for God's sake, so shut up. There's one we can buy in Cardiff which is just, you can't even see the sponge for the thick fudgy icing.
Do you eat that or just shove it straight into an artery?
For centuries, the tribespeople of Borneo have been hunting for food with a blowpipe like this. And that is what you're going to be doing today. You get one shot each. Bad luck, Charlotte. That's the outer ring, Eve, which is £50. James, outer ring, 50 quid. Michael, outer ring. $5.20s, is that 100?
That'll do for me.
Sure.
Thank you.
£50. £100.
Well done!
If you can head back to the camp and we'll get to the important bit, we'll try and help you spend your winnings. And the first lot is a warm pizza. Pizza for £20, going. I hate to do it for £20. Burger with fries and some ketchup. That's very quick.
Yes.
It's some chocolate. Who will spend £10 on the chocolate? Pete will go 10. 2 bars of chocolate.
I'm going 20 because I'm
£20.
starving now.
Zoe has the bid. Another burger and chips, anybody?
20 quid!
£20 burger and chips.
Oh.
Right, James, £20. £30, Pete?
No.
I'll give you 40.
50.
James, £50. The last lot is a mobile phone call home.
Oh no! At £80 is what I've got.
And you're offering 60.
I know, I'm offering 80.
You're offering 80 now. Gone.
I just can't believe that. Before the auction started, we all said, don't bet each other up. Just let the money go for whatever it's got and we'll share everything.
Yeah.
They all agreed to share everything when you went in.
But my lot had come with the burger and chips and a bottle of tomato ketchup. And then James went and got his burger and chips and just walked up to me, picked up the bottle of tomato ketchup, not said anything, shook about a third of the bottle over his chips. I had to say, can you stop please, because that's going to last us 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then he and Charlotte just sat there and ate a whole bar.
And Eve was even fussing about the tomato ketchup that I was
I know,
putting on
she
my
wouldn't
hamburger.
allow you
She said, oh
to-
no, I won that as part of my 20 quid.
I know, how
What is that
pathetic.
woman on? What is she fucking on? Who was the one person who behaved with complete self-respect? Pete. And he was flabbergasted at the end of it.
know.
I was very disappointed today because it was supposed to be a bit of fun and it's completely tainted the day really.
At some point I'm going to be up in an immunity which I'll really, really want to win. And I'll be up against someone like Richard or Pete. And my only chance is to eat as much as I can. And that includes rat. But no, this is not a pleasant experience. I don't like it one little bit. You only have to look at some people how much weight they've lost, particularly Pete. In fact, people have commented that they can't string their words together properly. They're beginning to lose the power of speech. Whether that's got to do with protein deficiency, I don't know. It is disgusting. It is disgusting doing this. I'm going to bury it all down there.
Fire has become a vital part of everyone's life on the island, and never more so than in this challenge. Survivors ready? Begin. Eve returns to one of her favourite subjects, rice rationing.
We have had to sort of face facts that we can't keep eating rice, you know, on the same scale that China does annually. It's not good news, I'm afraid.
Want to come and get it before flies land on it? Rat says.
These should be a bit short, anyway. Thank you very much.
Chest cavity or a leg?
What's that?
Chest cavity.
I think I'll go for the leg. Thank you.
Don't get a lot of meat off a leg, do you?
You can eat the bone as well.
Earlier today I approached Eve because myself and James have discussed a few things, and we felt that if Pete and Eve would vote with us, purely for the reasons that we're stronger people and we perhaps deserve to get further through our determination than some of the other people.
Charlotte came and approached me this morning while you were all out.
And she was busy topping up her tan. Hard work.
And she basically has asked me to join an alliance with her, James and Pete. Would I be prepared to join them to, they didn't say who they wanted to vote off, but to vote off the least deserving candidate.
Deserving candidate.
Ooh, this is all wormy. Gross among
I can't
those.
believe that, Eve.
Well, I just wondered, you know, we've had some doubts about Pete and with his moral problem of, you know, dealing with this game, of whether we used it as
Do you know, it's so hilarious. The most deserving, he sits on his flaming arse, complaining he's hungry, not doing anything in an attempt to, not even attempting to find food. Even if Pete voted with them tonight, right? Would you want to go? Would you, in all honesty, want to go in an alliance with Charlotte and James?
No, I wouldn't, because I don't trust her. Jane said to me before she left, at the merger, do not trust Charlotte.
No.
She's deceitful and conniving.
People aren't playing it fair, and unfortunately I think the winner of this competition probably won't deserve it. They'd probably be the winner because they've been the slyest, conniving person.
I have assumed that it's me all day. I speak to Charlotte and Pete says, no, on the raft today it was not decided who was going. So then I saw Richard coming out of the sea, and I just said to him, Richard, I've got one last thing to say to you, and that is, if you vote me off tonight, I think you're a coward because you're scared of me. Before we get tonight, I'd like to welcome back Andy as the first member of the new Tribal Council jury. Zoe. Mick. James. 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 James.
You realise it is just a game. So even though I feel a little twinge of sadness, I can't wait really to go home and see my family and get back to my real life.
I voted for James because I don't like his mood swings.
Richard asked me to put the 3 remaining Halang votes towards Mick, because he calls Mick, Zoe and Jackie the witches' coven.
I've been pretty desperate the last few days. It's just hard to even get the energy to involve yourself, sit up, involve yourself in a conversation. The rest of the group have noticed I've become very lethargic. I become very down. It was just so hard to do anything other than just think, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry.
I mean, we can all say, yeah, we're weak and tired, but...
Of course we are. We're going for £1 million. It's never going to be easy. We're not just going to hand it to you on a plate.
Yeah. You've got to make an effort, haven't you?
Of course you do.
One thing I'm a little concerned about that might happen in the next couple of days, though, is if it is suggested that those people that require more rice have more of the share.
Oh, no.
That's categorically no, because how can we physically measure each other's metabolic rate? Metabolism. You know.
I know. That's what I think. Just because I happen to be a foot shorter than him doesn't mean I need less food.
Then all you say is, well, those people who are actually doing something to acquire food should maybe have more food to enable them to continue doing something to acquire food.
Yeah.
While those who are lying on their arse and thinking of their next catalogue job can remain lying on their arse and thinking of their next catalogue job. I think Pete's been winding everybody up for the last few days because he has just sat and moaned and collapsed and done nothing and complained about food and being hungry, and a lot of reading of the Bible. Divine help me. I'm surprised he hasn't eaten the Bible yet, actually. Surprise, surprise, we're all starving. Hey, the name of the game. Reduce the rice, make them run, do things, they'll get hungry. No surprise there. So yeah, we're all starving, don't need to listen to somebody whinging and moaning. Particularly a big lumberjack of a man being a big girl's blouse. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's getting nicer and nicer every day. I'm continuously hungry, but the feelings of weakness sort of take over that. My stomach's starting to stick out a bit because it's swollen with hunger, really.
Yeah, can I have more, please?
No.
Anyone else for a scrape? This is just ridiculous. I've got no nutrients, no food, no carbohydrates, no protein, no nothing. I feel, it's really weird, I feel kind of like sick as well and my stomach's hurting. But I feel like I've got to lay down before I fall down, really. I just got no energy whatsoever. The next immunity challenge for me, it's imperative that I win it because otherwise I'll be going off the island. But I'm going to try my best. But when I'm feeling like this, physically, I'm just not what I was at all. So I'm going to give it my best shot, but that probably won't be good enough the way I'm feeling now.
Welcome to the Sand Spit and today's reward challenge. If you look at life on this island as walking a tightrope, then you may be pretty good at this challenge because this is all about speed, determination, and most of all, balance. We have two. Survivors ready, go! Congratulations, Pete. Interesting technique. You used your brains as well as your balance. You get a full English breakfast in the morning.
Thank you very much.
Oh, yum, yum, yum. That's all I can bear to look at.
I've been so hungry. I mean, never experienced anything like it. I honestly couldn't see any way I was going to go on yesterday morning. I just felt I couldn't do anything. And just to actually know the only way I'm going to get through this is just through prayer and asking God. And then He just answered me.
Taking his time, isn't he, eating it?
I would as well.
It's difficult between sobs though, isn't it?
There are 25 small treasure chests on the seabed, and in one of them, and one of them only, is a small idol. With Richard winning immunity, Charlotte, as the last remaining member of the former Halang tribe, is resigned to her fate.
I know that I'll be going tomorrow, and I'm ready to go. I've had a brilliant time, and I've really tried hard. It just wasn't meant to be me who won the £1 million, but that's fine because, you know, I've enjoyed every single minute that I've been here.
Nick,
Yes.
Jackie raised with me, independent of anything I'd said, the issue about Pete.
Right.
About what did we think about voting him off next.
That was her opinion, was it?
She just said she had been thinking about it.
Do you mean next instead of Charlotte?
Yes.
I think that's a dangerous move.
If we go against him now, they will create a jury of 4.
Yes. That might well happen anyway, because he's going to be next down the line.
Yeah, and let's think positive about doing
Or
it
do
the
you
next
take
time.
the opportunity while he's not got immunity?
I know. That's what
It's a difficult call, isn't it?
So when I was in the shelter with Eve earlier today, I mentioned about voting Pete off instead of Charlotte. She said that her, Mick and Zoe had already discussed that and wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And that if I was up for it, I should ask you.
I mean, would everybody, because I don't, you know, he's my mate, I don't want to sort of vote against him at this stage. Then, you know, I mean, I don't want to be out with the group either.
Well, everyone feels a bit uneasy about doing it, but I think it's a case of it's everybody or nobody.
Yeah.
So if you're not prepared to put the vote in, then none of us will.
Right.
But if it's everybody, then we all will.
The other thing I did was I promised to tell him. Yeah, and I've been sort of supporting him all the way through this as well.
But I promised that I would tell him if I was voting against him as well. And I think
Yeah, no, but you're not as big friends with him as me.
because if you tell him we're just all going to look bad and you're going to look great, and if you don't put a vote in against him, it's the same thing again.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, I'll go along with it. I'm not happy about it, but I'll go along with it. I guess I could have fought hard for Pete not to be voted off, but I knew Pete was going to be the next one after Charlotte. That was everybody's plan. So yeah, that was part of the game, but I think my friendship with Pete, in fairness, is probably the only friendship that's genuine on the island.
I think Peter wanted to be told before he was voted off that he was being voted off, and I think Rich agreed to that. However, when the crunch comes, it's not that easy to go, by the way, mate, I'd pack everything tonight if I were you.
You know, I was going to tell you, because I promised you. Although last night when people told me they were going to vote Pete off and that I had to be with them or else, I was also made to not tell Pete that he was going to be voted off. Now, I'd already promised Pete earlier in the game that if I knew he was going to be voted off, I'd tell him. So there was no way I was going to go against that. So I told him this morning. He was obviously, you know, very upset.
This is, whatever happens, I'm glad everything, we've got a friendship now, mate, and that's,
I know, well, that's why.
That's beginning. That's the beginning, it's not an end. I knew he's being definitely honest. I've never seen him have a face like that on him since he's been here, and I knew he was telling me the truth, and instantly I felt betrayed.
Can you imagine if we had a rice eating challenge? That would just be the pits.
Would it?
Yeah, I can't even eat the one bowl that we're allowed a day.
I was amazed you couldn't eat your rice last night.
It was making me heave as I
but
swallowed it.
you know, the rat makes me go.
No, the rat's nice. Charcoal rat.
She could be manipulated, perhaps,
No, and she's very. I think she can manipulate.
Yeah.
I've been stirring it so much the past couple of days that I'm just sealing my own fate. Someone's going to catch me out and vote me off, and it's almost like I am tempting fate just to get off this island because I'm so hungry. I don't mind. I'm having more fun now than I have done for ages.
So what do you know?
About tonight?
No, not about tonight. In general.
Well, I spoke to Jack this morning.
Yeah.
And she seems alright.
Yeah, okay. She said that she wanted to replace you with Mick, is what she said. I've decided now that I'm just going to turn up the heat to the absolute max that I can. My first port of call was with Zoe, and I started her off with saying that I wasn't too sure about Jackie. Now, although I'm in an alliance with Jackie, I'm staying strong to that. I wanted to see Zoe's reaction to it, and Zoe's reaction was...
I have Mike on the back burner to replace Jack. She's playing a silly game.
She is.
She's trying to be smarter than she is.
Yeah.
Because I've also got Eve and I
know you have.
But that's for a reason, you know.
I know you've got all the guns.
My relationship with Richard is, it's bizarre. We talk very little and we see each other even less. It's probably like a very good marriage. You know who I want the last two. I've said it all along.
Yeah, fine.
If it came to the three of us and I had immunity, I'd vote Jackie off.
Yeah. Fine.
That's just how I even though if it was me and Jack in the last two, I'd probably stand more chance of winning.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her win at this stage because I don't think she deserves it.
Yeah. I think Zoe is powerful. I think she probably is up to something. She certainly didn't look me in the eye when she said she wanted me and her to be in the last two, and I certainly probably don't trust her on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Kenny, still trusting you, all right?
I'm still trusting you.
Right.
Because otherwise it'll all be a sham. I could be completely wrong, but I do trust him, and I hope that he is true to his word. He told me about Jackie's little blip, which I shan't forget.
How good are you at keeping a secret?
Pardon?
How good are you at keeping a secret?
Oh, sorry.
It's very important, the most important secret I will give you while you're here.
Alright then.
You know, you must promise.
I promise,
Because I've promised not to tell anyone, but I think it's only fair to warn you.
What?
You're not going tonight. I'm going.
You're going?
Yeah, don't say anything to anyone. Yeah.
Why?
Because they've decided to get rid of it as soon as they can.
You're joking.
After all that he's done for them, they've stabbed him in the back, basically. I know Pete's taken it as well as he can, but I know when he first found out, he was devastated because he's obviously got such a strong faith and trust means an awful lot to him.
Who told you?
Rick, because he made me a big promise a long time ago that if I was going to go, he'd tell me. He'll put him in a lot of trouble with the rest of them.
Yeah, I know.
If they know, I know.
I don't want you to go. I'll be left with no one.
Rick will look after you if I murder him wherever.
What's going on? Who's speaking to who? Who's planning with who?
I know what I'm not going to say because they'll don't want you to say anything.
I won't say anything, honestly, but I just feel so vulnerable.
I know there is £1 million and it makes conniving and sly little people, but they think they're clever and clicky, but they're not that clever. We know exactly what's going on. You've got to have quite a bit of an intelligence to be able to lie to everybody and to be able to make out at the same time you're a deserved winner of £1 million. It's clear there's a sort of Witches of Eastwick alliance going on between Jackie, Zoe and Mick.
He and Charlotte have had a little hour together, saying goodbye to each other, we think. And Richard said to me, funny thing is, it's the wrong one saying goodbye.
I think it'll be a dramatic tribal council, which will mean Richard will say even less. He'll cover his eyes with mud so that nothing can be read. Jackie and I will probably fall about laughing with hysteria, and Eve will go, well, you know, it has to be done. Off we go. Back to camp, everybody. And Charlotte will go, pardon? Pardon? What do you mean I don't get chocolate tonight? So it could be quite interesting.
Even though they've talked about how they're planning to vote and might think that they already know the result of tonight's tribal council, the 7 remaining members of Sakutu also know that any votes cast against them continue to count in the future in the event of a tie. At the moment, Zoe has 5 votes against her, Jackie 4 and Richard 3. Eve and Mick have 1 vote each against them, while Charlotte and Pete have none. Jackie, has anything happened in the last few days? Are there splits starting to emerge within the former Ular?
Definitely, yeah, there are splits starting to emerge. Makes it very exciting. There's always a huddle of people talking in one corner or the other, unless it's just me being paranoid.
So you're the last to vote. I'll count the votes. Charlotte. Peter. Eve. Pete. 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 Pete.
I consider it an honour that you've considered it worthwhile you breaking your word that we held to vote me off. I consider it a personal insult that none of you could tell me face to face. Keep your word in future. I wouldn't expect, I wouldn't hope people would treat me the way I've been treated by the group. I think I've given more than a good help in a lot of the immunities.
This game is about a hell of a lot more than physical strength. I don't think you quite cut the mustard.
You think this game is based solely on physical strength, but you're wrong. It's mental strength, and it's far more important. And you're not mentally strong enough to survive here.
You play the game the only way you can play it, and I played it straight. I can't bear people that are devious. I can't bear people that lie, and that's what part of this game was about.
Pete, this vote comes from the head and not from the heart.
I felt betrayed when I first found out. I also feel relieved that I'm not going to be in that camp anymore because who wants to be around people like that?
As Sakutu leave tribal council to head back to camp, another tropical storm is breaking. Possibly the worst to date. Day 32 dawns, and once again the tribe have to deal with the effects of the previous night's storm.
I think we've awoken to Pete's wrath, I don't know. The guy prays for food and he gets breakfast. He gets his back stabbed last night and we get this.
Only Eddie the Eagle of Survivor.
Meaning what?
Meaning that every bloody challenge I would just do dismally bad.
No.
I'm a dismal failure.
Not at all.
I would like to get one up on the people that are trying to get one up on me, because then it's not about the money, it's just about saying, well, I outwitted you, you completely disregarded me, and I outwitted you. And in Eve's case, I would have outwitted her twice if I can stay longer than her.
And that would be nice. I would like to be involved in that one, definitely.
She's got mad staring eyes too.
Yeah.
I hate her.
Jackie tries to be devious, but isn't clever enough to be devious because her mouth's too big to be devious.
Just imply around camp that you don't even like me. So if he's up for it, we are laughing. You, me and him are absolutely laughing. And Halang they will just be beside themselves, the fact that you have got into the final 3. But whatever you do, don't get into bed with Zoe, because she's got everybody in her f***ing pocket.
Yeah, she is being nicey-nicey.
And it seems as if Jackie is absolutely right to warn Charlotte about Zoe.
I think she thought she could have an alliance with Richard and Mike. But she underestimated my cunning, and I have poisoned her path in that direction and any other direction. So, don't mess with me.
When you came on the island, you were told that for 40 days and for 40 nights you'll be having no contact with your family, your friends, your loved ones. Well, to lift your spirits after the storm, we have something for you. So watch this.
Hi Mick, still on the island, surprise, surprise.
Some of your friends have called round to your house in Cardiff.
Happy birthday, mate.
Hi my gorgeous.
I love you loads. Hi Eve.
Little snapshots from your family, and the reward is, if you win today, you'll get to see the whole of your personal video message. It's called the 30-second assault course. Charlotte, ready? Go. Eve, ready? Go. Jackie, ready? Go. Ready? Go. Charlotte's in the lead. Richard, are you ready? Go. So you've got to beat Richard. Are you ready? Go.
She's over, she's over, she's over, she's over, she's over, she's nearly there. I just got two on the end like that.
Right, well this is clearly an emotional game, but Richard, you've won, and there's a tape of your brother which you can watch now or watch on your own.
I'm missing home more than anybody, and I think if I watch it, this will break me, so I watched everybody's reaction, and I want to give this prize to Charlotte because I think she's missing home more than everybody else. So I'm going to hand that back to you. It's okay.
You don't have to do that.
Hi, how'd it go?
Oh, it was just fantastic to hear his voice, Mark, and my mum, and
doggies.
And the doggies, and know that everyone's all right. It's just nice, isn't it? I miss you like crazy and love you all loads and loads and loads, and I can't wait to see you. And I'm never ever going to do this again. I'm never going away from home again. And they'd go, you silly sod.
Zoe came back to me and said, look, I don't trust Jackie. She's plotting, she's up in the air, she's playing, what did she say? Oh,
Devil's advocate?
No, devil's advocate. You should be so lucky to be called a devil's advocate. She said she's playing a very silly game. I thought, silly game, come on.
It's amazing that she trusts you, though.
Well, I mean...
They have no idea that we talk.
I think, right, that...
Maybe they do.
She's trusting me as far as she needs to take me before she throws me off.
Yeah.
Now, we need to get rid of her. We need to work on Charlotte.
Yeah. But you've probably gained some ground by giving her that video today.
All the way through this game, I think people have been ignoring other people, dismissing them, and not seeing them as key players. And, you know, Charlotte's bright. She's been dismissed by Ular tribe all the way through. The girls have been sniping and bitching, and, you know, Charlotte could turn it all on its head. The thing is that Zoe is running around thinking she owns the beach. And
well, ever since James and I came here, Zoe said she's going to be in the last 3 and she's ultra confident about it.
The way they are at the moment, they've been like
they're cliquey all the time, running off, even going to toilet together.
Are you cool to go for Jackie and for the 3 of us?
Definitely, yeah.
All right. But if Zoe gets immunity, we could be.
It's highly unlikely, I think.
Let's see how it goes.
But if it goes like that, we've just got to rely on luck.
Cool. Sorted?
Yeah.
Grand.
The latest from Survivor Beach. Well, obviously it's an immunity today. If Charlotte doesn't win, she's going tomorrow. If Charlotte does win, Jackie's going tomorrow, and that's pretty certain, I think.
Nice shaking hand movement you got there, Charlotte.
Are you doing your eyebrows with nail clippers? Yeah. Why don't you just leave them? Did it irritate you that much?
Well, what else is there to do?
I'm just curious.
Eve, with all her catty comments and little Miss Bossy Madam that she is, she's an absolute nightmare.
I want to vote Charlotte off. After that, I want to get rid of Jackie.
On Sakutu Beach, the tribe puts thoughts of home aside and Eve returns to her 2 favourite subjects, rice and Charlotte.
Often when you cook rice, some of it sticks around the edge, and it's quite nice because it's nice and crunchy rice and everything, and you don't want to waste it. But Charlotte will, I mean, you've barely got the 3rd mouthful of your bowl of rice eaten, and she's wolfed her whole lot down, she's into the rice bowl, she's scraped it clean so that nobody else can have any. Highly selfish, highly greedy, devious, and incredibly vain.
The washing's become easier since we've got hungrier.
Since we've got what?
Hungrier. Because everyone's cleaning their bowls. Has Mick cleaned his bowl out?
I pretty well have, actually.
That's all right then.
Richard escapes the heat of the day by going in the sea, also giving him the chance to observe events back on shore.
Zoe quietly eyeing up what's going on the beach. What is she thinking now? Is she thinking she's got £1 million? Does she even trust me? Is it me she's going to vote off next? Will it be Charlotte? Big schemes in Zoe's mind.
Well, have you spoken to Richard?
Yeah, that's how he feels.
And he feels the same. So if Charlotte was to win immunity today, Jackie's going.
What's going on? Having a look around. God, she's on fire, isn't she? And she's so vicious.
Oh, she's so nasty. Because like I said to Jackie, it is a game.
Yeah.
But as we discussed before, there are emotions involved and people do have feelings.
And you don't have to ostracise people just because you're going to vote them off. How childish.
I know, but this morning round that cup of tea, she was like, you said black and she said white.
Yeah. Well, it's not me she's having a go at so much. Have you noticed? She's having a go at Jackie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get votes against me, but I'd love to see them go, Richard.
Oh,
Richard.
I know.
Or Richard.
I
and
know.
Then, and for her to think, yes, I got rid of him, and then for it to go, Zoe.
Because they'll think
Zoe.
I'm going to vote for Eve, won't they?
Zoe.
Because I always do.
They won't know where you're going.
No,
And
no
I'll
one knows what I'm doing. That's probably quite good. I've been so haphazard.
I normally sit there silent, right? But if that scenario came out, I just go.
Welcome to today's immunity challenge. Now, you know, with all the immunity challenges, if you win, it guarantees your survival on this island for another 3 days. Well, today there's a difference, because to win it, you have to guarantee someone else's survival. This is all about observation, ingenuity, stamina, and speed. Out at sea are 6 stranded divers. You have to rescue 1 each. Survivors ready? Begin. Congratulations.
Well done.
You have immunity.
Thank you.
Yesterday's reward challenge, the reward was in 2 parts. There's another part. There's the guy you left drowning out there. I think you'll find it's your brother.
Last night, Charlotte did the rice, and when we saw what she'd done, it was a massive bowl.
I'm afraid it's a different portion from last night.
Lovely smelling mouth. Oh well.
She said, oh, well, I've only cooked a bowl and a half, and that's what we agreed. I said, yes, Charlotte, but that's an enormous amount of rice. Oh, well, I soaked it in a lot of water. You know, Charlotte, give me credit for having more than 2 brain cells.
Half an hour ago, Charlotte mentioned that perhaps some rice has been stolen. So you reckon half of it's gone?
A lot of it's gone down. Well, Richard just said to me that I noticed this morning, I sort of opened the thing, and the bags, like from yesterday, gone down by about.
See, I haven't been doing it. You would recognise it because you've been doing it.
It's definitely gone down.
But which one of the 3 is it?
They wouldn't have the guts to do it on their own.
No. Nick had been up quite a bit last night when we were all asleep, and maybe they've taken some away, hidden it for when they think it's just going to be the 3 of them, and we'll all feel the hardship of having less rice over the next couple of days until it's 3 of them, and then they can boost up their rations. It might be a case of just going hunting for it, looking at likely hiding places like under the floorboards in our shed type thing, and in their bags, down their knickers, things like that. Trust no one.
No, I know. I haven't done since I got here. Yeah, what I've done, I mean, it's not trust no one. You've got to put a proportion of trust in different people.
Yes, I know, yes.
So that's what I've sort of been doing.
I'm hanging out with Charlotte because really she's the only one that talks to me in camp at the moment.
She spent the last 3 days just glued to Charlotte's side, and then wonders why we don't trust her.
It's almost quite pathetic in that ever since Charlotte and Jackie have become friends, Jackie does her hair now like Charlotte, and Jackie's got a reversible swimsuit. The only time she's ever reversed it is while she's with Charlotte, you know, in 4 or 5 weeks. You're like, Jackie, get a life, get your own personality. And she just doesn't have any sense of self-worth, self-confidence at all.
I found with this task, if you imagine that's actually somebody's head, maybe somebody that said something in the last few days, it helps.
I feel reasonably strong at this stage. I feel on top of the game. Don't trust Jackie, don't trust Charlotte, because I think she's quite manipulative and sneaky, and that's my job. I trust Richard. I haven't had reason to doubt him so far.
Supposedly Zoe has Richard, Eve and Mick in her pocket, but she hasn't got Richard in her pocket. I have.
As Sakutu make their way to the next tribal council, they're aware that all votes previously cast continue to count in the event of a tie. Zoe currently has 5 votes against her, while Jackie has 4. Richard has 3, Eve 2, and Charlotte and Mick 1 each. Let's see how the voting goes tonight. Charlotte.
Your volume control is stuck on maximum, and you scream about chocolate and how hungry you are all day, which is just the tiniest bit grating.
Charlotte. Zoe. Zoe. That's 2 against you, Charlotte. 2 against Zoe. Charlotte. Zoe. On previous tribal councils, Charlotte, you have 1 vote against you. Zoe, you have 5 against you. Could you bring your torch to the stand, please, Zoe?
I trusted Richard, and I guess you should trust no one. But I just felt you had to sort of have somebody somewhere within the group where you could put your trust, and I was horribly wrong.
Zoe, my ears reverberate with the sound of you telling me how good you are at this game. If by that you mean falling off things and being nasty about people, then you're the best.
Well, I guess Jackie betrayed me as well. She's a slippery little snake, that one.
I'm going to vote for this little schemer because she's managed to turn the housewife's favourite against me, and that crime is punishable by being voted off the island.
May the best person win.
Following Zoe's departure last night, a real split is developing within Sakutu. Things are getting personal. Old tribal loyalties are collapsing. This is where the psychological part of the game really starts to matter, as that £1 million gets ever closer.
Things are definitely getting a bit out of hand, and I've just been slightly thinking, it is just a game, don't let it get to you. We came in from tribal council, and Eve started having a go at Jackie, calling her names and saying this, that and the other, and making out she was really popular, and there's been an argument over the rice. Jackie saw Eve and Zoe going down the beach with a spade early yesterday morning, so we think it might have been buried, we're not sure, but there's definitely a large amount of rice gone from the bag, which is concerning, because I mean we're all losing weight and we're all feeling very, very weak.
It's very difficult to trust anybody at this stage. The stakes are extremely high. The word £1 million is being spoken more by other people, and I think if people are being driven by money, money does strange things to good people.
That £1 million is, you can almost smell it, and it's very exciting.
I feel quite vulnerable now within the tribe. Tribal council with Zoe going was, whilst I wasn't surprised, I'm disappointed. I'm in a tribe now with 4 other people, of which 3 I can't stand. Richard, because I just don't trust him. He's just a complete snake.
Charlotte, I just haven't got the time of day for. She's underhand, greedy, selfish, vain. She's everything I don't like in a person. And Jackie, well, I've never liked Jackie. I've pussyfooted around Jackie for 5 weeks trying to make Jackie feel nice so that Jackie feels confident, and quite frankly, I'm sick to death of it.
Someone had hidden the tomato ketchup. Sorry, that's my floorboards.
Doesn't hurt to check everywhere, Nick.
We might find what I've got there.
Did you see anyone take it, Nick? You saw Eve take it last night?
Yeah. Come on, somebody's got to make a decision. Sure.
Why don't you check her bag?
Okay, you've got the bag.
There it is. It's in her bag.
Right,
There.
take it back. You're going to do a confrontation or?
I'm not.
We'll just say, where's it gone?
Welcome to your last reward challenge, which is all about what 5 weeks on this island has done to your body. The day before you came on the island, you were weighed by our doctor. What we're going to do today is to weigh you again. Before that, we want you to guess how much weight you've actually lost. But before you have to guess, we're going to make life a little easier for you, because you can look into this mirror. First time you've looked into a mirror for 5 weeks. And then you will have to decide how much you think you've lost. Quite simply, the closest to the mark wins a rather tasty reward.
Is this mirror correct? I've still got a fat bum.
Yeah. According to you, you've lost 7 pounds, which is not a lot, really. Eve, next.
I reckon I've lost £10.
I'll tell you what you were. You were 194 pounds.
With the beard, 172 pounds.
You think you've lost 22 pounds? Right.
Slap the old thigh.
I reckon I'm 129 pounds.
129 pounds.
Medic! Where am I?
We're at Chippendale now. We've got 6-pack and everything.
24 pounds, 25 pounds.
Right, well, let's see what the truth is. Now, that's pretty close.
141.
You have in fact lost 11 pounds, haven't you? So you were 4 pounds out. I think it's 120. So you've lost 11 pounds, but the good news is you're only 1 pound out. Well done.
165.
So you've lost 29 pounds, which is just over 2 stone. But unfortunately you were 7 pounds out. Okay. Jackie, you're next.
131.
You've lost 17 pounds. So you're only 2 pounds out.
Okay.
Very close, well done. Mick.
I'm 162 pounds.
In fact, you've lost 29 pounds, which is exactly the same, funnily enough, as Richard. But you were 4 pounds out. Okay. So Eve, according to my figures, that makes you 1 pound out, which is the closest to the mark. Well done, you've won the reward challenge.
Is it 6 days left today?
5 days tomorrow. Yeah. We're in the 6th day, so it's 5 days tomorrow. Did you think you could do it?
Well,
Stay the whole...
must say it's
Time?
looking pretty shaky on day one when I
I bet.
but I've just managed to
Yeah, well, you're a
my
bit like
way
me.
into
I
staying
just managed
that
to
little
sort
bit
of
longer.
hang about like a bad smell. No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to mope around here.
These little alliances buy you an extra 3
Yeah,
more days.
that's right.
3 more days.
Yeah.
And now, unless Nick and Eve win immunity, and there's the three of us that are going to try our hardest if they don't.
Yeah.
Then we're lovely.
I know.
All the way home.
We woke the tribe at 4:30 this morning to bring them here to the sand spit. It's now sunrise and the challenge has already been underway for some half an hour or so. The rules are very simple. All they have to do is keep at least one hand on that pole the whole time. Every half an hour they'll step from one log to the next log. The main thing is they must keep one hand on that pole. The person left standing with their one hand on that pole wins immunity. We could be here for a long time.
Why do you speak so loudly?
Do I speak really loudly? I didn't notice.
You shout everything.
Oh.
Just when you're speaking, normally. Shit.
What, you've bandaged for me?
No. I don't know what I could do.
Well,
I'm quite happy that she
I'm
leaves the
happy.
log, sorts herself out and comes back and carry on the game.
You happy with that, Eve?
I don't personally agree with it.
Do you want this or on?
Yeah, I think for it. I'm sorry, I don't think it's. I think it's part of the game. Because if I needed a shit, you wouldn't say to me.
Slightly different.
No, I don't.
Don't shake my hand because you might shake the one.
Well done.
No.
Well done, mate.
Well done, mate.
Well done, mate.
Well done, mate.
Be careful,
Well done,
shake.
Jane.
Cheers.
See you later, yeah?
Right.
Well done, Charlotte.
Bye-bye. Sorry, guys.
Righto.
Cheers.
See ya.
All nice laughing. After a while of being on the log, I got my period just out of the blue, as you do, and everyone else was like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you 2 seconds to sort yourself out," and he was, "No, I'm not happy with that at all. It's not fair. We're up here. You're going to have to carry on." And so I had to sort of sort myself out while stood on the log with my hands still on the totem pole, which is quite difficult. So it's something I'll know how to do if I ever need to in future. But I mean, it was just typical Eve.
After 11 and a half hours, bad weather finally hits the sand spit and the remaining 3 survivors.
Coming in.
Okay, well done.
Bye.
The weather's beating me.
You're coming off, Eve. Well done.
Did you two guys notice Eve talking to Charlotte yesterday on the log?
So nasty. She's completely going on and on at you. A cow.
Why do you wear 2 bras?
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Why do you talk so loudly?
Yes.
She was just gunning
Why
for you,
can't
wasn't
you
she?
hear? Why can't you hear what's being said? My ears are blocked.
I thought the first incident was just completely... I know she's been playing hardball all the way through and been nasty to people all the way through, but that was just inhumane.
I know.
It was like...
It was. She's it was
honest.
so
It was
degrading.
uncalled for. 2 minutes wouldn't have given Charlotte an advantage.
No.
No.
And
Not
how
at
can
all.
a woman do that to another woman?
I don't know.
I felt when Charlotte got her period yesterday on the log, I just thought, that is so pathetic to say, oh well, it's all right, you're a girl, you're allowed to step off because you've got your period. It's like, bloody grow up. Periods aren't anything more than having a wee, you know? It's just a bodily fluid. You know, it's not like we're 13 and in a schoolyard and embarrassed. I just thought that is absolutely no reason for her to step off.
The nastiest competitor that's been on this
has
island.
actually turned into the worst of them all, isn't it?
She is.
Nasty Eve.
Yeah.
That's what she's going to be
Evil
nicknamed by
Edna.
the press.
Evil Edna. I call her
Evil
Madam
Edna.
Min. Evil Edna and Madam Min.
And God said,
She's a
strike
stomping
Eve
witch.
down.
There's a really nasty atmosphere in the camp. It's almost like being a prisoner on death row and, you know, tonight's your night. No one speaks to you. Not at all.
Can you give us a call if Eve's on her way back?
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
Okay,
and give you a
thanks.
shout as soon as she comes back.
Well, what happened? I was
Is she
sitting
down that
here.
way, Jack?
Yeah. And she picked all the dry lillettes, usable lillettes out, a great big handful like this, and put them all in her rucksack and left all the soggy, unusable ones.
I can't believe that,
Knowing, yes.
problems that I've been having.
So I said, do you think you could save some of those for Charlotte because she's got her period? And she said, yeah. So she's only taken a handful now, which I suppose is acceptable.
We just took them out of the bag because they're not hers.
But we're just going to check to see if anything of ours is in here that shouldn't be. We won't steal anything. We just want to make sure things haven't gone
She
missing.
didn't leave one dry tampon.
I know.
Not one.
She knows Charlotte's got a period as well. She's so out of order.
That's just the most vindictive thing that anyone could possibly do.
Oh,
I just found a whole load more.
Oh my God.
What should we do? Should we take them out?
Of all the things to take, that's just really cruel.
Yeah, she's taken one of those.
Oh.
So how many of these are there? 4?
4, yeah.
What do we do about that then?
Well,
That isn't hers to take, is it?
They're for the floor.
again, you're going to commit yourself if you do. Have you had the bag right out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the tomato ketchup wasn't in there.
No, what was it? Here it is.
Well, it's under there.
It's under there.
This is typical of her because of the conversation.
We'll leave it under there now, shall
Yeah,
we?
leave it under there, yeah.
What is it?
Tomato ketchup's
tomato
under there.
ketchup.
Is there any rice under there?
So I haven't got to that yet.
Just lying on a branch up there.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, she might have seen
Well,
me.
obviously she saw us the minute she walked up there.
She's
With
got,
one.
she had shed loads of tampons in there.
Yeah, I know.
Even though she put like 5 back for
Yeah.
Charlotte. And then she'd taken one
5.
of those camouflage coverings things.
Poncho.
Yeah. So now we've only got 3 between the 4 of us.
Just take it back.
But it's in the bottom
Well,
of
it
the
can't
rucksack.
It's not show
do
out.
that.
Well, let's say
And the tomato ketchup is under the floorboards.
Eve has wound everybody up so much, and she's just done so many sort of heinous things, really. The sort of lack of humanity, I think, just about got to everybody. And the final straw was when we found out that, you know, we've got 4 waterproofs left. Where the rest have been lost, we don't know. But we've only got 4 waterproofs left. Undo the poncho, and I've put a big split down the back of it. Come on.
And then And then forget
and then
it.
just
And then
leave
forget
it?
it, and then leave it.
Okay. Oh, this is great. We're being sicker than her.
It's gone more beyond the game now. I suppose I found it quite personal now because I really do not like 3 of the people that are left.
We're more evil than her, though. Do you realise that?
do you really think we are?
It's called playing you at your own game.
Exactly. If you can't beat
Not too bad, not
join
too
them.
bad.
What about the
There we go.
coconut?
You really have been.
What about the back end as well, though?
No, you don't.
No, just leave it. Leave it now.
Do you know, I've learnt over the last few weeks just how dangerous women can be.
Not all women, Mick.
No, not all. Be interesting to see what happens to the bottle of tomato ketchup, won't it?
Yes, it's under her floorboards at the moment, isn't it?
That is, yeah. Yeah.
And if we see her take it, do we say anything?
Can you imagine it, right? You're out the game, yeah?
Yeah.
And the only way you can make a statement is to put a bottle of half-diluted tomato ketchup on your floorboard and flipping steal tampons.
I know. How embarrassing. What a way to go.
About 10 pence worth of tomato ketchup and £2 worth of tampons, and you know, that's it. You're justified and vindicated for going out of the game. How small can your life be?
Petty as it might seem, I found this little pot a couple of days ago and was going to use it in case I needed to steal my own tomato ketchup. So I am going to use it because I'm going to take it home with me and take it back to wherever I stay tonight, and I'm going to laugh as I eat it. And they're all drinking tea, and I know it's disgusting, but I'm hungry, so I just get rid of the ants. I don't recommend drinking tomato ketchup. But just get me home back in a little way.
As the sun sets on day 37, Sakutu leave for the first of 4 successive nights at Tribal Council, until on the final night the remaining 2 will try and persuade the jury which of them should be called the ultimate survivor and leave the island with £1 million. It seems that tensions are running high in the camp. I gather there's some recriminations today, is that right?
Yes, there is. I thought Eve's behaviour to Charlotte was inhumane, is as near as I can take it. I was astounded at what she did.
Jackie?
Our only supply of tampons were taken, every single last usable one of them, by Eve, knowing full well that Charlotte needed them. And I thought that was very selfish and also inhumane. But after being approached by it, she put 5 or 6 back.
Do I get a chance to answer to this?
Eve?
It's so pathetic. If you want to go into details, I didn't think that that Charlotte was using that particular brand of tampons because she hadn't been using the other ones and been drying them out earlier. Jackie had told me that she couldn't cope with having a period while she was here, and I'm about to get my period, so I took some and put them in my bag. But, admittedly, having put about 10 back, Jackie then did go rifle through my bag.
Eve, do you feel as though you made a mistake somewhere along the line?
I've made no mistake, no. I go home with my head held high.
Right, well, it's time to vote.
Hubble, bubble, toil and trouble, Eve is gone and burst her bubble.
I'll count the votes. Eve. Jackie. Eve. Eve. Eve.
The person that wins this million has got to be a very devious, cunning liar, and those 3 sort of fit the bill quite well.
Eve, it's how you play the game, not the winning. Unfortunately, you played the game without respect for either anybody on the island or yourself.
I cocked up the game.
You didn't cock
Well,
up.
no, I mean, I got it wrong about 2 or 3 days ago. Unbeknown to me, there were 2 alliances running, and I thought there was just one, and I joined the wrong one. It's as simple as that. So, unless I win a mute, that's why today is an extraordinarily vital day for everybody.
The tide is coming in at Bird Island for an immunity challenge that is a real test. We're asking them to find their way to the centre of this island, the mud volcano. To do so, they have to orienteer through more than 2 kilometres of jungle. On the way are 3 stations where they'll pick up directions and where they'll also have to answer questions. Their goal is to find a personalised plaque hidden somewhere around the mud volcano. The person who finds their plaque in the shortest time wins immunity. Begin! After 6.5 minutes, Richard reaches the first station. The first question is, what is the correct name for the tree? Banyan, rattan or mangrove?
What's the correct name of this tree? Rattan, mangrove, banyan.
He answers correctly and then follows his map to the next station. She admits defeat. So Richard,
Well done.
this belongs to you.
I think Mick's done that sort of perfect thing of being able to make friends, but quite easily broken friends. It's almost the sort of sociopathic trait that these people can make friends when they want to and then just dump them when they don't need them. And that's why he's in the last 4.
Oh, it's going to be a sad day for young and old when Mick leaves the beach.
Seeing you in your little kinky sarong.
I'll do my very best not to cry into my beer and sandwiches, all right? I have a little plan just to lighten the mood with a bit of luck, that's all. And it revolves around the fact that on day 1 I smuggled in 4 sausages in a fairly intimate manner, and I never did find the 4th one. So tonight, as they're all hungry, I'm going to present them with the found 4th sausage. But I should add that although this is the original cling film, it has been cleaned, and what you see is actually bamboo with shark's liver oil on it and nothing else. But they don't know that. Boys and girls, as you know, I'm leaving the island tonight.
Yes.
And I know you've all been fairly hungry quite a lot, haven't you?
Yes.
Well, you know, I smuggled 4 sausages over.
Oh, you found the last
We don't
one.
want to know. Well, you know the 4th one went missing.
Oh, right.
Okay, and I haven't been to Lou for a few days, but I went yesterday. And for you, I have the full sausage!
Mate.
I'm gonna be sick! You animal!
Mate, feed it to the rats or some other mermaid.
Good to be on, you did. Oh, thanks, darling, but no thanks on this occasion.
You know who ate it last time? Eve did, so she can have that. Take
Take it for Eve. She'll probably.
You've ruined my thing about why I'm voting you off. I was going to say I'm voting Mick off because it doesn't matter how hungry we were. He never admitted to finding that full sausage. You've ruined it all now, Mick.
A lot has happened in the last 24 hours. Eve has left the tribe and is now on the tribal council jury, and Richard has won another immunity. Let's just talk about that. It's day 38, Richard. Everybody's weak. Relatively speaking, was that the toughest challenge so far, do you think?
Yeah, that was a real tough one, especially how sort of worn down we all are, the lack of rice, the lack of food, and we're a long way into it. And I think I showed that perfectly when I took a bearing south and headed straight north. So, I mean, elementary mistake, and it was half an hour of some of the toughest terrain I've run through, I think.
Charlotte, you had a problem with the references to novels.
Well, the problem was I just, the first thing I saw was the author's name, and I thought, oh, I've never heard of him. If it had been Jackie Collins, it would have been great. But
Mick, you've played an absolutely superb game. You've had me foxed a couple of times. Unfortunately, you fell in with a bad crowd at the wrong time. Take care.
Jackie. Mick. 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 Mick, could you fetch your torch and bring it to the stand, please?
I blew it. That's it.
Day 39 dawns, and the 3 remaining survivors know that they must face the final immunity challenge. What they don't know is that it will be at tonight's tribal council, where whoever wins immunity will effectively decide who joins them in the final 2 to contest the £1 million.
Jackie and myself, we made an alliance, we've stuck to it, and it's proved to be really, really strong, and it's got us to the last 3. And no matter who we'd have brought to the last 3 with us, we'd still be in this situation. I don't think we could feel any stronger. If I win immunity, I'm going to stay true to Jackie and take Jackie forward. I think if Jackie wins it, I just hope that she takes me forward. But in the back of my mind, I think that she thinks she'd stand a better chance against Charlotte. So I hope I don't get knifed right at the last minute.
If I win the challenge today, I'll take Richard through.
I've decided to tell Jackie that Richard actually told Pete he was going on the day, and that Pete also told me. I knew that Richard would want to take Jackie through, and I felt that Jackie would also want to take Richard through. And at this stage, you have to give yourself all the chances you can. And if Richard's lied, which he has, I feel that Jackie should know about it. Richard actually told Pete that he was going to go be voted off the island.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because Pete told me.
Right.
So Richard was able to twist it so that he looked like the good guy.
So, all this time, when Pete threw the Bible at him, it was just all an act?
Yeah, it was all an act.
And when Pete said, I wonder if Pete's forgiven me, da-da-da-da-da,
well,
he knew all along.
Yeah, how often has Richard been going on about it?
Yeah.
Because he wants you to think that he's disliked amongst the jury. So he's in an ideal situation. I didn't tell you till now, because
I don't think I can keep that quiet, Charlotte. I think I've got to talk to him about it.
He's never going to own it.
Well, if he doesn't, I think I'm going to have to say something about it. If I won the immunity, I was going to choose Rich.
Yeah.
But because he's lied to me, I'd rather choose you to go into the final 2.
Well, I will choose you to go in the final 2 because I know that Richard's very popular amongst the jury. And I don't think you're really unpopular, but I know that Richard has got a lot of support.
Well,
and that if either of us go through with Richard, Richard's going to win it. It's not the first proactive thing I've done. Throughout the whole game, I've been dropping subtle little comments. All it needs is one word, and you'll be amazed how people's minds start racing and worrying. So that's how I've played the game, just dropping in a word here and there. Nothing conniving, nothing too sly. Obviously things which have strengthened my position, and probably why I feel that I'm here now.
Not a sausage even, Nick would say.
Looks like today's going to be more exciting than initially anticipated.
Exactly. Things aren't what they seem. I mean, Richard's not stupid, Jack. He's built up massive favour with the jury. He's also built up favour with Halang and, James and Andy, who think he's great because he's the sporting hero. And they've said to him before, oh, we want you or Pete to win. And they knew that we really liked Pete.
Yep.
So...
But the thing is, we all really like Pete, and we all
Yeah.
wanted to tell him,
Exactly.
but none of us could because of that very reason. And
But wasn't it an ideal opportunity for Richard? He could
look the nice
he could
guy.
vote off Pete, who
Yeah.
he knew would be tough competition.
Yep.
B, he could tell Pete and look the only nice bloke there.
Yep.
Pete would be off with Andy and James and building up Richard's favour.
Yeah.
And, Richard's got flipping majority on the jury. But the problem is Richard's making too much, like he said again last night, oh, did you see the way Pete looked to me? And that really annoys me because I know that he's just trying to build you up into thinking that the jury don't like him. I've been dying to tell you that I've been waiting for the moment for ages.
It's a really, I can't believe I thought that he wouldn't tell Pete.
Well, yeah.
Because it seems so obvious
Exactly.
now. Richard has played an extremely cunning game all the way through, and I don't think I've ever seen his real personality. I don't believe he's ever been himself. I believe that he went and researched the whole island experience, the likely challenges that we might have. He looked at personality profiles of which personalities would work well in what situations. I think he is very shifty, and he is constantly on the alert, and anything that he can use, he will use.
I've been paranoid every single day about going because I thought Richard knows I know, and it could jeopardise his position.
Yeah, and it has done.
And he was saying things like, "Oh, is Jackie getting in with Mick again?"
You should have told me sooner. We could have got rid of him and kept Mick.
We couldn't have though.
Why?
Because he's won every bloody immunity, isn't he? I would have, if that had been the case.
Yeah.
But he won every immunity.
It's so important we don't say anything until after this award.
Oh, I know.
'Cause if he wins immunity,
I know,
then it might be worth not saying anything.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't, then we'll bring it up, and we won't choose him.
Yeah. Well, we got to make sure we win then, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely. I'm quite pleased in a way. These little twists and turns.
Well,
adds
exactly.
a bit more excitement
I mean, he's
to it.
not here for no reason whatsoever. He's not stupid.
What a crafty little devil.
Isn't he just?
He has played the game well, though.
He has played the game well. But so are we.
Will you win immunity tonight, Jack? And we'll be sorted. Hey, yeah. How you doing?
Jackie's told me that Richard's been saying to her, it must be us who gets through, because Richard knows that if he goes through with Jackie, he's probably likely to win.
The final immunity challenge is going to take place tonight here. It's basically about what you've learned over the last 39 days about your fellow survivors and the little things perhaps that have passed you by and which may now mean the difference between £1 million or nothing. I'm going to ask you 8 questions, and for every correct answer you give, you'll get a point. The person who gets the most points wins immunity. If there is a tie, I have some sudden death questions. The first question is, who were the 2 survivors hanging from the tree in parachutes? Could you show your answers, please? Richard, Charlotte, Jane and Eve is correct. Jackie, Eve and Adrian is incorrect. What is Zoe's partner called? Show me the boards, please. They're all correct. Cindy is the right answer. What does Sakutu mean in English? Show me the boards, please. Merge, coming together, to join, merge, are all correct. How many members of Sakutu, and I emphasize Sakutu, brought toothbrushes as their luxury item? Show me the boards, please. Charlotte, Jackie, 4 is correct. Richard, 2 is incorrect. 1 question to go. Richard, you have 4 points. Charlotte, you have 5 points. Jackie, you have 5 points. The last question. Name the 2 survivors who cut free the rafts on day 1. Show me the boards, please. Charlotte, Simon is wrong. Jackie, Nick and Andy is wrong. Richard, Nick and Andy is wrong. The answer was Nick and JJ. So we move to sort this out via sudden death questions. Just the 2 girls. Who was the 7th person voted off the island? Show me the boards, please. Both correct. Simon was the 7th person voted off the island. On the day we last weighed you, how much weight had Richard lost? Show me the boards, please. 29 pounds, Charlotte, is correct. Jackie, 26 is wrong. Charlotte, the immunity amulet is yours.
I'm wet.
We should now move straight to the vote. It's obviously a crucial vote because it will decide who the last 2 survivors are. Richard, could you vote first, please?
Jackie, because there's nobody else left to vote for.
Richard. Jackie. Richard.
I think Charlotte voted against me because we've had conversations where she said that she's sort of jealous of the immunities I've won and the performance that I've put in, and she feels that I'd be very popular with the jury. I think it's quite ironic that Jackie and I have been in cahoots for all this time right from the start, and she gets a question wrong about me, but there you go. I've had a bad feeling about today since I woke up this morning.
Well, with the final two. We're the last two. Oh, I can't believe it, can you?
No, too good to be true. Oh, wow. But that is fantastic that we're in the final two. We can have a really girly day on the beach tomorrow.
I know, we will. I can't believe I'm in the final two. When I left Tribal Council, I was still sort of reeling in emotion, and I burst into tears as we first left because I just felt all the pressure building up on me that had been building for the last 40 days spent on this island, and I'd finally done it. I finally got through to the final two. Jackie is a good person to be here with because a lot of people perhaps think she hasn't pulled her weight throughout the whole show. We get on so well, and we're having a fantastic time. The images imprinted on my mind forever are going to be waking up in the morning and watching the sunrise, going out and catching my first ray, going swimming and bathing in the sea, waking up amongst a group of people who I don't really know. There's so many different images that it's going to take me a long time to go over every single one of them.
The experiences I've had here on the island, you just couldn't buy these experiences. It's just fantastic. It's challenged me physically and mentally, and I've come through it, and I know what my levels are of endurance and what I can put up with, and it's given me loads of inspiration really for what I might be able to do in the future.
I've got my fingers crossed, and I'm sure what will be, and I'll let fate decide.
Welcome to the jury. These 7 former members of Sakutu will essentially decide your fate tonight. They'll decide which of you is to leave with £1 million and which of you is to leave with nothing. Now, Charlotte and Jackie, you have a chance tonight to make opening speeches to the jury. Has it been decided which of you will go first?
Yes, I will.
Jackie, you have the floor.
When I got up this morning to watch the final sunrise on the island, I started to think about what words I could use to you on the jury to try and convince you to award me the worthy winner of £1 million. And it's an impossible task. How can you choose those words? Now, how do you decide who deserves to win it? Is it a case of strength, or is it a case of a person who plays the game well and secures their position many times over to get into the final two?
When I first came to this island, I wanted a life-changing experience, and everything I've gained from the minute that I got here has far exceeded that. Every single jungle walk, every time I've learnt to live on the island, learning to get on with different individuals, and just learning to survive. You never get anything in life unless you put in 100% all the time. No matter when I was feeling down or when I was feeling happy, I always put in 100% because I knew I would never forgive myself unless I did that. I've done that when I was with the Halang team. I always went for every single challenge that I thought I could assist them with. There was no way I wanted to be carried into the merger. I wanted to be a part of the people who got
us through to the merger and people who deserve to go in. I've tried to use my personality a lot since coming to the island. I feel that I've got quite a bubbly personality, although it probably annoys people at times. I feel that my most incredible achievement is the fact that nobody shot me. Was I forgotten about? I doubt it. I'm a bit loud. Basically, I just want you to look at me and try and remember as many things as you can, not just single instance, but loads of different qualities. And if you can see qualities in yourself that I have got in myself, and that would make you deserve to win, then I hope you can look at me and see the qualities that I've brought to the island and see how hard I've worked every single step of the way. Thank you.
Now it's the turn of the jury to have their say. So Andy, could you begin?
What I would like you both to do is to project yourselves 12 months into the future and tell me how your lives would change if you win the money. And if I could start with you, Charlotte.
I'm sure my life would change if I won the money. I'd certainly...
I'm interested in how it would change.
Right, how it would change. I would look to certainly pay off my mortgage and do silly little things like that, and also make my family happy and more secure.
Well, if I was lucky enough to win the £1 million, as you probably know already, I start a new job next month. And believe it or not, I would still continue to start that new job and see how I got on with it. I would hate to be plunged into a situation where I've got too much time and too much money on my hands before I really know what effects that money would have on my life. But I really do want to do that. And certainly Martin may be disappointed to hear this, but I would be looking at a big wedding.
What do you feel that you've learnt most about your own character and personality during your stay on the island that you weren't expecting to?
I've certainly learnt to cope with being on my own and dealing with situations on my own. And I feel that that's a great achievement for me, because I really am somebody who clings on to my family all the time. But I'm really pleased that I've sort of come out of my shell with regards to that, and I am more independent.
Great. And Jackie, what do you feel you've most learnt that you didn't expect from other people's personalities and characters?
It's an unreal situation to be in. I'm not sure I've seen real personalities. I may have seen shadowed personalities, and it's difficult to gauge that.
In getting to the last two, what do you both believe is the biggest compromise you've had to make while you've been here, and do you think it will be worth £1 million making that compromise again?
I feel that the biggest compromise I had to make was in the early stages when I was on the Halang tribe, and I actually voted for James to leave the island. In hindsight, I could see that Adrian, who did go that night, was the person who should have gone, and that was certainly something I regretted.
Well, it's quite prudent you asked that question, Pete, because my biggest compromise involved you. I was in an alliance with you to vote off Halang members first, and I didn't.
Evening.
Hello.
Something I never did was steal from my fellow contestants. And myself and Halitosis have been very, very close friends over the last month. But being branded a liar and a thief after my departure has left a particularly nasty taste in my mouth. Burying and stealing food was something I would never do. I just wondered if you could enlighten me as to how this story came about.
It wasn't necessarily aimed at yourself, but myself, Richard and Jackie were concerned that the other alliance, which was yourself, Mick and Eve, perhaps felt that they were going to be in the final three.
I don't think anybody ever labelled you a liar and a thief. It was just a suggestion that Rice had gone missing, and we asked Mick about it, and we talked to Eve about it, and we couldn't ask you about it because you weren't there anymore.
I've just got two questions, one to each of you. I would be very interested to know why you think I hate you so much.
I just think that you speak to me in clipped tones, and from the day that you left when we voted you off, even Mark commented, was I surprised at your aggression? And so how can I not think that that's through dislike or hate?
And do you think that is my personality in reality, or do you think that is possibly that the role that I was playing for the game?
I think that's possibly you.
Okay, thank you. And Charlotte, you're obviously aware of how strong tribal loyalty has been throughout the entire game. So I'd like to know what you think that you've done to deserve Ula votes tonight.
I've earned my way into the merger, and I've worked my way through the merger from a very, very low point up until the final two. And I know you're a hard worker, and I hope that you'd respect me for not giving up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Throughout the contest, I've heard you variously described as being a cross between a leech and a limpet. Is that your perception of yourself? And if it isn't, what is your perception of yourself for the contest?
Okay, my perception certainly isn't a leech or a limpet. Although I must say that is quite amusing. My perception would be that I am a perseverer.
Okay, a similar question that I just put to Jackie. I've heard you described throughout the contest as greedy, underhand and deceitful. Again, is that your perception of yourself?
That's certainly not my perception of myself, although I can see where each of those terms has come from, and it might be a single incident, it might be a couple of incidents, and there's been things which have happened on the island that I'm very, very proud of, and there's also been situations and times where I've acted in a way where I've not been proud of myself, and I can only apologise for times when I've behaved like that, and it's only myself that I've upset and myself that I've offended.
The eagle said he could fly higher than the sparrow, and the sparrow tucked underneath the eagle's wing, and when the eagle had almost reached the sun and was exhausted, the eagle had to stop, and the sparrow flew that little bit higher. I have a confession. I qualified as a general practitioner 6 years ago. I'm actually a psychiatrist. I'm very proud and privileged to be a psychiatrist. You have both stigmatized people with mental illness in my time on the island. Do you think that you can win my vote, having done that?
If I've ever said anything about somebody with a mental illness, I've never meant to offend anybody, and I hope that I haven't. I say a lot of things, many things are meant in jest, and I'll also look at myself and laugh at many different things and aspects of my own personality, but I certainly don't mean to offend anybody, and I hope that my comments can be taken in the way they're meant to be taken.
Jackie?
I think you would probably overlook that had I said something against people with mental illness. I know that you have said things about people as well, and surely you can't condemn others for things that you would be prepared to say yourself.
You were both very, very scared of the jury. You should be.
Now it is time for your closing speeches.
I'd like to pick up on a couple of things that you mentioned, really. Richard, you mentioned this analogy of a sparrow and an eagle, and maybe it's my inferiority complex, but I took from that you meant that I was a sparrow and you were the eagle. We've had an alliance from the very beginning, from day one, night one, and that perhaps I've ridden on the back of your success all the way through, and at the final stage I didn't know how much weight you lost, and it meant that I went on to the best place on this programme, and that you, who have tried and worked so well up until now, are on the jury instead of there being decided upon. And I'm quite disappointed you think that way, because I have played myself throughout this game, and I've always felt that we have benefited equally throughout our whole alliance on this island, and I maintain that thought as well. So basically I'd just like to say that I think I've played the game well. I'm here. Many people have tried to get rid of me on numerous occasions, and despite my obvious weaknesses in strength, I'm still here, and I hope that goes a long way in your decision on who's the winner. Thank you.
I just wanted you to know that nothing in life
comes easy to anybody, and although there was a game to be played here, there was also a lot of hard work to be done, a lot of understanding, and a lot of people to get to know and learn and try to live together as a unit, which we did do. I just want you to look at me individually, look at the whole aspect of the game, look at qualities which you feel would cause you to win the £1 million, and basically make a decision that you can be proud of in many years to come, and not based on just a whim, but based on the whole picture.
Tonight I want you to vote for someone you believe deserves £1 million, for someone you believe deserves the title Ultimate Survivor.
Coming.
3, 2, 1.
Win rounds. 4 zoom right. Go left on 5. Single left on 5. We'll be up to the feet for now. 11. Jury going hard. Go, John.
Welcome for the culmination of an extraordinary television show. We're backstage at the Survivor studio with our 2 finalists, Jackie and Charlotte, who are eagerly awaiting to discover the contents of the casket. Now, I know this has been safe with you, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
You haven't looked?
Yeah.
Can I trust it with you?
Yes, trust us.
I trust no one. In here are the 7 votes from the 7 jury members that will decide and determine who is going to be the ultimate survivor. They have already seen off 14 other survivors through physical and mental challenges, scheming and some good old-fashioned skullduggery. But there can only be one winner. One survivor who will take home £1 million in cash. This is the £1 million in cash. Please welcome Charlotte and Jackie. Through your heads.
Oh,
Charlotte.
there's loads.
Yeah?
It's me. No, it's really exciting, but so nervous excitement building up, and it's just such an impossible thing to imagine. You just can't imagine it. Oh, yes, I can.
Jackie?
Well, we've been waiting for this moment for a couple of months now, so it's very exciting.
We're going to take a look at the voting. We'll reveal each vote in the order that the jury were evicted. We'll begin. Vote 1, Andy.
Jackie, you've done very well. Be proud. But Charlotte, you get my vote this evening. And I hope it makes you very, very happy.
Jackie, you are a leech that has grown fat on other people's misfortunes. I could never vote for you. Charlotte, for me this has been Charlotte's journey, and I hope with all my heart that you win the £1 million and that you can continue that journey in happiness, but don't spend it all on chocolate.
From the moment I was voted off and became a member of the jury, there were only 2 people I was ever one to vote to give the £1 million to. One of them was voted off last night, so it gives me more than great pleasure to nominate Charlotte for the £1 million. She's been an inspiration to me. She's been an epitome of survivor. She was down and out a number of times. She heard the fat lady clearing her throat, but she never got to sing. And I think she deserves this because she carried on and did it to the end, and that's an inspiration to me. You're not out till you're out.
I actually feel quite dizzy with the responsibility of this decision. There have been times when I could have quite cheerfully strangled you both. However, Charlotte, you've grown on me, and I think you'll grow on people. Whereas I think, Jackie, you just live off people.
I've only told one lie during this whole game, and that was about 30 minutes ago when I said that Jackie had played a good game and nothing could be further from the truth. Jackie has been carried and protected by better and more deserving contestants since day one. However, Charlotte has played a good game. She has played both the mental and the physical side of the game, and so deserves my vote.
Charlotte and Jackie, I've listened carefully to your answers tonight, and and perhaps more importantly, I've watched how you've coped with the tremendous pressures and adversities over the last weeks. Charlotte, you deserve my vote.
Jackie, I am very sorry. We made an alliance. It worked extremely well. I'm not voting against you. I'm not bitter about the fact you got into the last two. It became very apparent to me when we were stood there watching the sunset that I think you've missed the beauty of the whole place. I don't think you saw it. I brought my heart to this island. I'm voting with my heart. Charlotte, you're loud, you're brash, you're fun. You make no apology for the person you are, and I love that fact.
Charlotte wins the £1 million. You're now a millionaire.
I just can't believe it. I don't know what to say.
My pocket is a key, if I've got it, which is perhaps the most important key you'll ever receive. It is the key. It is the key to this £1 million.
Congratulations, Charlotte. You are a £1 million winner!
I just can't believe what now? I can't breathe.
Good afternoon, faster, or get out of the way.
Oh my God. I can't believe it. I can't accept it.
Straight through to the press conference. Left before audience.
Oh, right.
How do you feel?
Oh, I feel incredible. It's just, I feel like I'm flying.
Congratulations, Charlotte.
Thank you.
You must have thought about this moment for a long, long time.
Oh, I have.
Is it as you imagined it?
It's as I hoped and dreamed it. Woo! It's just incredible. I just feel like I'm floating. It doesn't feel real. I'm not shaking anymore as much as I was, but oh, it's amazing. It really is fantastic.
Bring it in nice and tight, really close to you.
Raise them up a bit, so yeah, right up in the air. Go on, just right at me. To your left.
Go on, just come down this way.
And again,
we're going right towards.
It feels absolutely incredible to be a millionaire, and people are telling me I'm a millionaire, but I still don't believe it at this stage. I've been rushed from the stage right up to here to speaking to all of you, and I really feel that it's a dream, and I really hope that this dream's real, because last night I wasn't sure if it was going to be. Because I've always been an animal lover, and I would never stand for any unnecessary cruelty to animals. If I could just clear up that little point, it didn't actually show the full of what I said. I said either kill it quickly or not at all. I didn't see any reason to prolong its death. And I mean, I actually killed a stingray and caught rats myself and did many different things. So it's not the killing of the animals, it's just to make sure that they don't die slowly. So that was my point there. The lack of food. And it was so bad that I can't possibly recall how hungry I was when I was on that island. I was starving. And I don't know if it was because some people didn't find it so hard. Jackie coped very well with it. Pete found it very difficult. But I think I've got a really high metabolic rate, and because I do loads of training and stuff, I was starving. I eat loads at home, and there was just nothing to eat. And I always said at home, you know, say, oh, I'm starving, but I've never really felt starving until I was on that island and my stomach was in agony through the pain of having no food.
Still protected in your jungle. McLean's Complete Care Toothpaste. Sponsor Survivor.